Hey, everybody. My name is Beth. I'm here with Angel,
Hello.
and we are going to be doing some Ludum Dare theme slaughtering. For anyone not familiar with what theme slaughter is for Ludum Dare, you're in good company because I've never done it either. But basically, the concept is that there are 986 themes that were submitted for Ludum Dare 52, which will be starting the 6th and it runs through the 9th. I'm sure those dates were not purposely picked for that reason or anything, but it always runs from a Friday to a Monday anyway, so like it's not like you gotta do much about it. But yeah, there's 986 themes. Everybody who's interested in it can submit up to 2 themes if they want to, and it could be anything they want. Um, a lot of them are not going to be even in the running for a potential theme though, so they do this theme slaughter where you can either vote yes, you think it'd be a good theme, no, you don't think it would be, or like yes, I want to do this theme, no, I don't want to do this theme. And if it's something inappropriate or offensive, you can flag it. Um, Sometimes people throw some silly stuff out there. So who knows what we're actually going to see on the stream. And with that, just a warning, there may be some cussing in some of these themes. There may be some vulgarities or whatever. I'm definitely not going to say them or anything, but I don't control what people submit to Let Them Dare. So hey there, Time Roller. Nice seeing you here. So with that, we are actually starting with a great theme here. You can hit refresh and it'll bring up a different random one each time, but I swear I didn't do that here. Kindness will prevail is the very first theme. Um, it's fitting because we basically try to make everything we make pretty much uplifting in some sort of way. So kindness will prevail. It makes sense for us. But it's weird because it doesn't really feel like it'd be a great theme. You know what I mean? Like a good theme has like you can take several different meanings to it. Um, which I mean, honestly, this maybe that would still work though, because kindness can be a play on kindness. Like, villains don't think they're evil, but they do evil things. Like they think they're doing right. So in a way, even like the worst people could be well, okay, not the worst people, but some of the villains in the world, especially fiction, can still be considered kindness. Like, oh, hey, you know what? Like, Angel is actually listening to a book right now called Scythe because Carla had recommended we do like a book uh, club. And the premise of that one, without spoiling anything, I haven't read it, so I literally can't spoil anything anyway, is that the world is overpopulating because everybody is immortal. So there are people that are hired to like kill people to reduce the population of the world. And in a way, that's a kindness because otherwise the world would become too overpopulated and would die off. So that is kindness, right? Like in a way. Um, what do you think you would do with kindness will prevail as a theme?
That's a good question. um, for me, I think that kindness will prevail leads to having a lot of decision making in a game where you had to choose that more so than something else. So even
Oh,
though you have a choice to do one thing, um, you may get a little bit better points for it. Will kindness prevail because it's strategically better for you, or because you benefit from something else later? Whereas now you'll benefit from not being kind. So, something that would turn a good deed would, like if it's a multiplayer game, in sharing something kind of like Gift of Tulips with Weird Draft Games, where you are giving something because you're getting more points to give it than you are
that makes sense.
keeping it. So like to me, kindness will prevail means that like if you are doing something good now, you'll get something better later, kind of thing.
I like that. That's cool. It reminds me of like Bioshock too. They always talk about the original Bioshock with the little sisters, and you can either spare them or kill them, and like how that's supposed to be a tough choice where like you can either like kill this innocent child basically or like save them, but you're gonna get more,
That
at
was
least in
an
the short run.
intense game.
Yeah, exactly. So okay, fine, I'm convinced. Kindness will prevail. Yes, it's a good thing. Wrecked. Uh, So first of all, this is spelled wrong. The correct spelling of wrecked, obviously, is REKD.
That's what I like. Get wrecked.
Especially in like this is Let 'em Dare. For those not familiar, is generally video games. Like I think there's maybe a handful of tabletop people in here, ourselves included. And even when we did the last one, everyone was like, "Oh, it's cool to see like a tabletop game in here." So like they are really rare. So like you'd think that they'd be more on the like video game slang. I'm sure this was actually like something wrecked though. I feel like that's a little too open, so I'm just gonna say no
Yeah,
on
because
that.
that feels like a dexterity game.
John Mastodon. I
that
have no
that
idea what that is.
rhymes. I don't. It rhymes, kind of. John Mastodon.
Oh, okay. So he's actually the founder of Mastodon,
Oh,
the platform everybody's running away to from Twitter, which
I
I can
see.
understand why, but there's a lot to that. I don't really think that's a theme. So
Nah, eh.
going bananas is kind of fun, though.
Fair.
Yeah.
Because that could be an animal theme with monkeys, or it could just be, a psychological game that really messes with your mind, or
Yeah. Or both. Like maybe
yeah,
the bananas in the
psychological
world. Yeah.
monkey banana game.
Yeah. Maybe something happened to the bananas in the world and it's making everyone go to bananas. And so that's just what they officially call it. Like, I think that's fair or whatever. So there are a lot of people I've seen on the Ludum Dare Discord server where a lot of people will finish and they'll literally have like 30 to 50 themes kept out of the like 986 that we started with
Oh
because
wow,
they're very hardcore about like this is theme slaughter, not theme, like
theme
take a
maybe.
couple out of. Yeah, exactly. So so I understand that. Honestly like this probably should be voted out, but I love Happy Little Accident, like because like Bob Ross, because
Yeah, I was
like,
just about to say that. It reminded
and
me
I
of Bob
honestly
Ross.
feel like if a game itself is a happy little accident, then that's a success anyway. So I am
Yeah.
definitely voting that in. Turing. I'm assuming that's like the Turing test, but I don't really know for sure. Um, I don't know how, like, at least as far as we're concerned, how we would make that into a tabletop game. Test of From Wikipedia, a test of a machine's ability to exhibit intelligent behavior equivalent to or indistinguishable from that of a human. So basically, it's used a lot of times for like chat bots and stuff. Like, if you were chatting with a chat bot, would you know that's actually a chat bot or think it might be a person? And so it
That sounds
passes that
really
test.
intriguing for like a psychological game, like Turing testing yourself. Like, but that sounds
Oh,
like way more detailed than a 3-day jam or 2 days, I think we get. So yeah. Uh, Although there's some intriguing ideas there, I just don't want to go down that path of like, oh my goodness, like we could not do this justice in 2 days.
that's a funny point though too, because like I do customer service here with Weird Draft Games, and like I swear I do not use copy paste with my messages, but the number of times I have said like in the exact same wording, I hope you have an amazing rest of 2022 and an awesome 2023, like exactly that wording, and it sounds very like NPC esque. So like
Then
maybe
you're
I don't
like,
want to.
oh,
Yeah, maybe I don't do this because like it'll come out that I'm a robot. So like yeah, I'm gonna slaughter that one. Bouncing. Um,
hmm.
that's another one that like theoretically would work, and I feel like that would be much better for a video game
Yeah, I was
because
gonna say that's more video game than it is for
yes,
us.
so I don't want to be stuck with that one. Crunchy.
That can mean a lot of things for tabletop, in that like if we'd have to make something, when they say it's crunchy, it means that it's got a lot of depth to it, and like,
That's
you
true.
know, so
Like you're thinking a lot about it. You're having to like make a lot of decisions, like
yeah,
stuff
very
like that.
strategic game. But like to me, for Ludum Dare, I wonder if that would translate, or they would really want a literal crunchy. And I don't know how to do crunchy in board game other than
That's actually one of the cool things about Let 'em Dare is that like one of the ratings when you're rated at the end of this is like how well it stuck to the theme, and usually the themes that do win are ones that are very like very open to interpretation. I was hoping that they used to have on this page the last several Let 'em Dare themes, and there were some really good ones in there. Like last time was every 10 seconds, which can be taken a lot of different ways. It can just literally be like you take a turn every 10 seconds, or it could be you live for 10 seconds, or so there's a lot of that. Crunchy though, yeah, I feel like would be a little hard for us to make a game out of, or like it's not exciting, I guess would probably be the better way to put that. Like yeah, we can make a game crunchy, but like that doesn't excite me at all. So,
right.
Time Roller says bouncing players pieces off of locations. I think that would be funny. You're right. So like dexterity game it up. I am all for dexterity games. I like them even though I've never really played one. So I like them in concept, I guess. But our table is it's a very soft top folding table, so it makes the idea of playing one really hard. Actually, no, that's not true. We did play one. It was I can't remember the name of it, but it had like a felt board that you put out, and you play basically like
Oh yeah.
yeah, it was like soccer basically. You're flicking the piece back and forth. And that thing was pretty cool. I think we got it from Miniature Market for like $2 or $3. They were doing a
Yeah.
really big sale. So a lot of dice. That's definitely us. That's not a theme. That's a restriction generally. Like, if we were to run like an actual RNG thingy, a lot of dice would generally be a restriction, but I don't care. I'm accepting that. Oh, there's a good one. Like, it only took
Hi,
us like what?
Rochelle.
Like, oh, Rochelle's here too. Awesome. Hey, Rochelle. Of course you came. You came out for all the dice. All the dice means all the roll tables too, though, generally, right? So like that's all I'm gonna say about that. Yeah, have fun with that.
Change your story. I like that.
Yeah, I think like we're only
Hmm.
like 10 into this, and that's actually a really cool one because it's what makes a really good Ludum Dare theme, and we were just talking about that, is that it can be interpreted a lot of different ways. And so like when people make games for Ludum Dare, there are usually like thousands of games that are made, or at least like well over 1,000. And the last thing you want is for everybody to have like the same game, uh, that'll happen to some extent. Like last time was every 10 seconds. And so there were a lot of games where a round lasted exactly 10 seconds. But it was still interesting seeing what people did with that. And then there were some really cool things done with it too. I feel like something like Change Your Story is right up there. Like you can interpret that 1,000 different ways. You could have 20 different games that are wildly different from each other, and they would still all fit that Change Your Story really well.
And I think a good theme is one that we can both think that can go different directions and be suitable for a video game or a board game or
Mm-hmm.
other premises. So it's really nice to have something that inspires like completely different things from other people.
Yeah, that's true. And you're right. The inspirational, the excitement about is like a big part of it. And so I do feel really excited about that one. I actually hope that that's in the top like 30 or whatever when they start doing the ratings.
Well, just to let everybody know, I am like Maria Kondoing this like with my vote, and that like if it sparks joy.
Yeah, that's
So
perfect. And that's the cool thing about this part too is like, okay, so there are maybe I guess 5 steps before Let 'em Dare starts. The first one is everybody submits like up to 2 different themes that they want. This is the second part where you're slaughtering through as many as you want. All these steps are optional, of course. The third step is they do usually I think it's 3 days where they take like the top 10 or 15. No, that's not true. The top like 30 to 45, and then they take over the course of 3 days. They do like a third of those, and you vote on which ones you like the most. It's done by like a plus 1, a 0, or a -1. So either you like it, you don't care, or you dislike it. And after those 3 days, then the day before the jam, or maybe the day before the jam, I usually get to this like 36 hours before it starts, so I don't even know. But at that point, they take like the top 15 or 20 themes, and you do that again. You vote like, I do like this one, I don't like it, I don't care. And then right when the jam starts, which is right here, 6 days, 22 hours, and 44 minutes from now, yeah, less than a week away. Then the winning theme is shown. So we have no idea which one it's going to be until that point. But at least at that point, you can start kind of plotting for like, it's going to be one of these 15 or 20. So like you can guess at that. I think 1 Degree of Freedom is another really cool one because there's a lot of ways to interpret that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of different ways you could go with it.
I think that one for me is exciting for a long term thing. Again, like I feel very nervous biting that off in a couple days, and that like I feel like that one is an analysis paralysis type thing. That like
Yeah,
you're just gonna
fair.
overanalyze all the directions it could go and not pick one. But
Mhm.
like it's an exciting one, but it leads a lot of ways that I would worry we, you know, have a hard time defining.
Yeah, I honestly like my first thought with 1 Degree of Freedom is like you only have 1 degree of freedom as a player in the game. Like they make 1-click games and stuff, and I've always wanted to try to do something like that with a tabletop game where like you only have like one thing you can do, and that one thing is generally like, in a video game, one button means like you don't have up, down, left, and right. You literally just have like you can press this button or you cannot press it. So a lot of times that means like uh, there's actually the Mario iOS game or mobile game, whatever. Uh, Super Mario Run, I think it was called. But like basically, Mario will run straight to the right, and then if you press the button, Mario will jump, and that's it. So like you can either press the screen and you jump, or you let go of it and he doesn't jump. And of course, you change the height of the jump and stuff by pressing for longer or shorter amount of time. And then like if you jump off a wall, he jumps backwards. So that's it. Like that's the whole control. And I feel like something like that would be really cool in a tabletop game too. But I have no idea how that would happen. I'm still gonna say yes because that would be fun. But like
Because YOLO.
yeah, exactly. And then when it comes around, we can just be like, no, thanks. And so whatever.
We are story builders, so folklore sounds exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And it's another one of those though that like it doesn't feel like it's probably the best theme in the world, but like I want to do it. So I don't care. Yes. Half measure. I feel like making anything for Ludum Dare is a half measure to some extent because you have to make it in 2 or 3 days. But I mean, if you've seen some of the games that come out of Ludum Dare, I can understand disagreeing with that because some like really epic stuff comes out of this. I don't know, like that doesn't give me any ideas. You know what I mean? Like I don't like get excited about it though.
If anybody's excited by a theme, just holler out in the messages, like, and let us know.
Yeah, definitely. Because
even
if we see it late, I can come back over here and I can click on it and like we can change it. So like maybe you can change my mind before they fall off of here. Like John Mastodon's going to be too late right now.
Bye bye, John Mastodon.
Yeah, make it light. That's another interesting one because it could mean like lighting something up. It could mean making something lighter,
like cheery or
yeah, exactly. That's true too. Or even just like I always deal with making like I say too much. I am very wordy, so making it light would mean like more concise, something like that.
Rochelle says half measure, a game about a carpenter who only has half of all their tools.
Wait,
no.
Well, normally it's like measure twice, cut once. So would this be measure once, cut half a time? Like you only cut halfway through it, and then like you have to break it like.
And then you sing "We're Halfway There," living on a prayer the whole time.
Yes, exactly. I like Make It Light just because I feel like honestly this makes me want to make an inventory management tabletop game where you're trying to like unload your stuff. So like kind of like a reverse inventory puzzle. Like Rochelle and I have been playing a lot of My City lately with Angel. Well, the three of us, obviously. And so that's very much, you're taking stuff and you're putting it on the board, but then this would be the opposite where you are trying to get rid of the stuff. Oh, hi there.
Yeah.
Matt and Carl.
I was worried about saying that out loud.
I know I pronounce normal stuff like that I say on a daily basis wrong a lot of times. So I apologize for probably slaughtering the name just like I'm slaughtering these themes. But I think it's really cool that you're doing Ludum Dare. It's really awesome seeing someone else here doing it. I love Ludum Dare so much. Angel and I actually made our first game, I think, probably like in, I don't know, Ludum Dare like 20 something. And it was a Flash game back then. We made a few Flash games back then. And then we made our first tabletop game was actually for a Ludum Dare also. It was
MacGyver.
Yeah, MacGyver, I think was like 44.
Yeah, I feel like it was 43. I don't know, something like that.
I have it on my profile, which I'm opening another window, so not everybody has to look at it. Ludum Dare 46.
Oh, okay.
So, and then we just made one last Ludum Dare again. So, oh, I did. Wow. Okay. That's awesome. I am proud of being able to guess pronunciation then.
Yay.
And it is awesome seeing you.
That $1 million word game paid off.
Yes, exactly. I'm going to vote yes for Make It Light just because it's not something I want. Not a game. I like, it's funny because my immediate reaction here is like, no, like literally it says not a game.
That's not fun.
But it's like,
no.
You're allowed to make some decisions, but I will say as I press no that I like this just because it's telling me what I can't do and it makes me want to do something. Unconventional weapons is cool because I want to make a game where words are weapons.
Oh, that's interesting.
But I also think it would be fun to just have a game where you are using the silliest weapons imaginable. It'd basically be MacGyver, but with weapons. So like, like you said
Oh
originally,
yeah, run around the room and get like.
yeah, exactly. So we're making another MacGyver, and maybe that'll actually inspire me to make. In fact, I'm going to say yes to that, and I have a notepad up. I'm actually going to write down make an unconventional version of MacGyver. Because I actually we've been doing some
Rochelle says insulting sword fighting the TTRPG.
Oh, that's awesome. We were actually just talking pretty recently, like about Oh Sir, the insult simulator game.
Oh
And
yes.
back when I did video game reviews, we actually reviewed that one. But it's basically, oh my goodness, I have to go look this up now. I'll pull it over to the like shared tab whenever I find it. Okay, so here we go. I'll share this one. So Oh Sir, the insult simulator is this very silly game where you are given like this screenshot's probably the best one we're going to see of it. You get different partial phrases here, and you assemble them into something. So like this one here, like it'll start with like a name or something. Generally, if I remember right, it's been a while. But then you add to it. So like this one is your husband was born in your mother. And obviously that leads to some very bad connotations of what's going on with that relationship. So but basically you played as like different characters of people, and it was just very, very silly. All this stuff is voiced, so of course, just like when you're assembling random words to be voiced out, it sounds very silly also. Oh no, I just
They're all precise and silly, like
yeah, and mostly with like British accents too.
yes,
So
like, your husband was yeah very high
exactly.
highfalutin.
Yeah, and it's really cool. It's actually like I want to say it was like $2 or something when we got it. Like even when I mean we got it for a review, but I think even then it was like $2 or something to buy it. So like if you ever find Osir the Insult Simulator on a good sale, I would definitely recommend it, even if it's just fun for like 10 minutes.
Yeah, it just gives you a good laugh.
Yeah, sliding window.
That reminds me of the movie Sliding Doors, and Gwyneth Paltrow kind of annoys me. But anyway,
I think she annoys everybody anymore.
But she was like basically one character that missed a train and didn't miss a train, and they were like sliding doors.
Oh.
And so basically she caught her boyfriend or husband cheating on her when she caught the train, but when she didn't, she was oblivious to it and how her life went in two different directions because of that. So like sliding windows kind of gives me that vibe of like, getting a different view of the world. Like
yeah, that's interesting.
that
We would just have to do a version where like the window is open or closed and like a sprinkler hits you in the face and you have to go change because you got all wet, and then maybe you're late for your meeting or something. I don't know. I'm saying no to it, but I think that's a cool like discussion point that came out of it. Astro horror. I think that sounds cool. I don't make horror games. Like in fact, the closest I've come to making anything horror was the icon, like the promo I made for the stream, because it has a bloody knife in it. And I
was like, ooh.
Yeah, and I got on Canva and found some like I literally searched for horror and then scary font, and those are the ones that came up. So I went with it. So while I think this would be a fun theme for other people, I don't want it because I don't want it. I saw in the Ludum Dare Discord, somebody had pointed this one out, chained to your enemy, and I think they voted it down, but I think that's a really funny concept.
That reminds me of that video game we played, but I can never remember the name of. With the people that escape from prison, and then we
what the heck was that called?
Play on the same screen, and
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. It's by the same people that did. He just did one pretty recently. He's the one that got on the awards show, and he was like "F you, EA," and like,
oh my goodness,
yeah, it was amazing. Like one of the guys is interviewing him, and he's all like, "Can I have the microphone?" He's like, "Yeah, sure." And he like gets in the camera and he just starts yelling like "F you, EA," like "F you," like because of what EA does to the industry, of course. But yeah, I know exactly what game you're talking about. They also made It Takes Two, so I'll find it from that. Not movie. What are you doing? It Takes Two is a more recent one where you play as, I want to say it's a husband and wife team. And it's the same kind of thing. You play as both of them on a same split screen kind of thing.
That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Was it A Way Out?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So yeah, that's it. I think that sounds cool just because I think a lot of times in tabletop games, especially, but video games too. Well, maybe the other way around actually, because like in video games, you play a lot against a lot of like like they make fun of in Marvel, or like there's always this like faceless army that crumbles, or like Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Like there's always the like clay people or whatever in something that are just like super easy to defeat, and then there's like your mortal enemy or whatever, and like so I feel like being chained to your mortal enemy would just be like one enemy, and you're kind of competing with each other, but you're also stuck together. So
I wonder how we do that in a game.
Yeah, I haven't the slightest idea.
Like that's a worry for another time.
Yes, that's the we still have 6 days, 22 hours, and 32 minutes to figure that out.
Yes.
Connecting the dots. There's already a really big tabletop game. Well, I guess that's technically a tabletop game where you have like the dots and you make the squares out of them, and then you put your initial in it, like when you fill it in. Like I feel like a lot of us played that as kids, but
yeah, that could also be a mystery type thing, but
that's true.
Like it doesn't have to be literal, but it doesn't like excite me either.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, well, that was sweet. Somebody just said Happy Halloween. That's nice of them. And there's even emojis. I have a hard time downvoting anything that has emojis in it. So
it's okay. You can do it.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
I will anyway. See, now Chains is here, but I like Chain Your Enemy more. So like.
Yeah, fair.
Sausage. Which just it just makes me it makes me want to make a game about I can't remember the dude's name. How can I not remember it? Gordon Ramsay, because he's got the big like sausage meme about him. So like it just makes me want to make a Gordon Ramsay game. I'm still gonna say no though. Die to win. I like that. That's very roguelike-y. Or who was it? Chris of I cannot remember the name of his company now. That's going to kill me, so I have to look it up. Chris of... I know him in his Discord server somewhere. I just can't remember what the heck. There we go. Junk Food Games. Chris of Junk Food Games.
I was going to say fast food games. I'm like, I know that's not right. But I know food games is in there. It's just...
It should be. So yeah, Chris of Junk Food Games actually recently released a game. I think it was a business card game even, where very much like A Way Out, actually, you play as two people who are like deadlocked in like a final showdown, and you have to like one of you has to die. Like that's the only way out of the situation. One of you has to die. You don't want to kill each other though, so you're purposely not putting your all into the fight, because whoever kills the other person actually loses. The person who dies wins.
That's intriguing.
Yeah, but you can do things like taunt your opponent, so then your opponent has to, like, your opponent gets mad and they have to throw their biggest thing at you. So you're trying to like, it's like a reverse battle, which I think was a really cool idea. With that said, I don't think I can top that idea. So like, I like the theme of Die to Win, and I'm actually going to put it in my notes. I'm not going to vote on it as, yeah, I will, whatever. Oh, it was something in NF. That's the point of Ludum Dare isn't to like, I already have an idea, let's make this. The point of Ludum Dare is this would be fun to make a theme of, or a game about, and oops, it's the game I have to make a game about. So like, let's come up with something.
Barely enough is like leads me to thinking of like an 18 card game, or like something that has like a massive restriction but still works, you know.
Yeah. And that's actually like, it would be a good lesson for me anyway, because I am very much not a concise person. I am very much a like, well, that's not true. With print and play games, we want to make sure that there's as little as possible to print and things like that. So that part's safe. But like, I think Barely Enough would be fun. I'll go with that. Why not? We're almost 50-50 on the slaughtering and the kept. By the way, we're not going to be doing all 961 remaining themes. We're just going to be doing this for like maybe another hour and a half or so, or until we get sick of it. Yeah, it is. Well, it's 2 per person, and there's like
let's pick it up then. No, I'm just kidding. We'll get through.
Let's get out of here. Okay. I like Get Out of Here just because it could mean anything too. Like you're trying to escape somewhere, or you're trying to like. Well, I mean, get out of here, I guess. So like escape room.
I'm thinking of Full House with the like cut it out, but it's like get out of here.
Yeah. You Are the Antagonist is fun, but I like Chained to Your Enemy more, because I feel like if you're chained to your enemy, you can use your enemy as a weapon even. And so like you are yourself and your enemy to some extent. And you can always be the antagonist of any of these games anyway. So Tides. Why does this make me think of somebody eating Tide Pods? I don't. Why in this era is like that the first thing comes to mind? I'm not a fan of this one myself.
Me neither.
Stick it. Okay, so we've been watching a lot of Office basically forever, and one of the episodes features where I can't remember his name, but basically Michael's boss and they're all laid off, and so him and his kid invent the Suck It, which is like this very powerful vacuum that sucks up the toys because kids don't like to pick up toys, but they would love to use like a giant vacuum cleaner to pick their toys up. And then they even wrote a song about it. But yeah, Suck It. Stick It is not as much fun, but I do get it. And I think that would be really cool in video games. I think that there's a lot to play with as far as sticking it goes. And honestly, even if this was a game that we were making a full tabletop game, like it would be really cool to do like a legacy-ish game where you're sticking a lot of things to other things, and that would be the game, but not for a print and play.
Is it David Wallace? I think that's what it was.
Yeah, David Wallace is the name. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't really want to hang anybody, so
Nah.
Tower defense.
Hang Tight could also just be like a Western thing. Like,
true. Or even like, you're hanging out really high from like a bear attack, or like you're hanging your laundry really high. Maybe that's the game. Like in a city, like a very, very small community, you're trying to show off your clothes more than anybody else. So you're trying to hang yours the highest so the most people can see them. I think tower defense is cool as a genre, but I don't really know that it works as a theme. So I'll pass on that one. Up or down?
I like the idea of reversing those, but it feels like more of a choose one.
Mm-hmm. I think so too. Which
makes more sense for a video game than it does for a board game.
Mm-hmm.
So then it makes me think of that game that we just saw on Sovereignty, where you're kind of in the dark. So,
oh yeah,
like the idea of not knowing which way is up and down.
That's true. Common computer bugs.
I don't think that'll translate to a board game though.
Yeah, and I feel like if anything, it's more like mocking the video game creators. Like, I don't have any computer bugs because mine's a tabletop game. Sucks to be you. I do think that'd be fun to make like a more physical game, like an actual like if we were to actually publish something, it could be cute to have like little physical representations of the computer bugs. But like no, once in a lifetime.
Let's see.
I'm not a fan of it, but
no, I was like, no ideas coming up. Wilderness.
Yeah, wilderness is a cool setting.
Yeah.
It's another one I don't know about it as a theme, but like I do like the wilderness, and it could be anything. Like space is a wilderness. Like 52 cards in a deck. Sorry, go ahead. What were you saying though?
With wilderness, it just does make you feel like sparseness and like not having a lot of resources. So,
and it's funny because that just makes me want to make my No Man's Sky or No One's Sky like tabletop game again.
Yes.
52 cards in a deck. There are indeed 52 cards in a deck.
I see that, and it just reminds me of my mom, who always loved to play that like joke on my friends with the 52 card pickup, and how one of my friends, like God bless her and her tiny little brain, kept getting fooled over and over to do that. Like, I'm just kidding. That's not the game. And then it is over and over again. And I'm like, just stop tormenting this poor child. She's not going to understand that eventually we're going to get to play a different game than picking up cards off the floor.
That's awesome. I think it's hysterical that like people can fall. I mean, I understand twice, because like the first time it's a trick. The second time is like, okay, see, I tricked you the first time. Now I'll do it for real. But anything,
sorry, go ahead.
You're fine. Anything after that is just like, oh no. Oh yeah, we do have some spam. We've made it.
Yes. But I agree with you that like it might be funny the first time, but don't do it again, please.
Yeah, exactly. I actually did write it down as a note though, because I really like the idea of like kind of creating your own version of it.
Mhm.
Or something like of that nature, like where you're trying to trick people into things repeatedly. Like you have to trick somebody to do something like 3 times, or else like you lose.
Or 52 times. No.
52 times. That would be funny. Like, and really difficult.
Yes.
Um, Falls apart. It's okay, but
Yeah.
too much. I'm good at too much, especially words. Like, especially in rule books. So, but I'm still gonna say no.
Bubbling up.
Yeah, that could be a few different things.
Yeah. That one sounds interesting.
Okay, how about that?
Oh, you know we
Bird.
have to say yes to
Yeah.
birds.
Oh no.
Right,
I know.
Rochelle?
Yeah, Rochelle's gonna be all like, "It's birds." Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Don't
that's
worry, we're
fun.
saying yes. We got you.
Oh, were we? I was gonna say no. I'm just kidding. Cube.
That sounds.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Yeah,
no on that one.
I like that one.
Equilibrium.
Just because it's a nice word to say, I guess.
Okay, here's the real test of a Ludum Dare theme, and I did this for the one time I did a game jam on video. Equilibrium means, via the dictionary, a state in which opposing forces or influences are balanced, or a state of physical balance, or a calm state of mind, or a state for chemistry, a state in which a process and its reverse are occurring at equal rates, so no overall change is taking place. Yeah, I think that one alone wins it for me. I think the idea of having like 2 opposing forces balanced perfectly to where like one doesn't overtake the other, kind of like when you see in like anime and stuff, where like, you know, there's 2 people shooting like massive ray beams or whatever at each other, like they do it in Marvel and stuff too, but like neither of them's getting hurt because they're equally hitting each other in the middle. So like this would be kind of like that, but you're trying to make it happen. Like maybe you're playing some unseen hand that doesn't want anybody to get hurt, so like you're trying to balance out those 2 forces
Like an
equally.
interesting push pull.
Yeah, exactly. Or it could even be like a cooperative game, like semi-cooperative. No, cooperative with like limited communication, where you're trying to equally win/lose stuff. Camping, I hate camping. Just in general, I don't think it makes a bad game, but I
Yeah.
don't really necessarily want to make one. Harsh contrast.
I feel like that would just be more of a visual thing than it is a theme. I don't know.
That's true. That would be that would make a lot of sense visually. Or like if you made a game that was extremely light, but it was like a really dark, like scary, like terrible thing, or like something that was a really, really, really heavy game that took you like 4 hours to learn, but it, you know, looked cute as heck. So reality versus
Yeah.
expectations. I feel like we live that game. So no interface. Well, that's a given with a tabletop game. Only one sense. I think
Mm.
that's another thing that'd be really cool to capture in a video game. It does not work very well in a tabletop game though. Like because I have totally seen where people do like, you know, you can't see or you can't hear or you can only hear. They actually have some games like that where like it kind of captures like the deaf experience, and that like you can only hear your enemies and you have to figure out how to like defeat them and stuff. And I think that's really an idea, but like I don't really see doing that in a tabletop game, especially since they
Well,
can't keep people to print things that taste like anything. So
it might be interesting to do only one sense in that, like, you can't table talk and it's a cooperative game.
oh, that's
Like, so
true.
you can see and you can do things, that way, but you're trying to lead somebody to something visually rather than talking.
That's a good point. In fact, that would actually make a cool cooperative game, even where like one person can see, one person is the only one that's allowed to touch anything, but they can't see. Um, one
Yes, so
person,
each person uses a sense. That would be cool.
yeah, exactly. So that would be neat. Hanging by a thread. Um, how dare this person not go with what the heck is that guy's name? I'm like, I hear that song like 3 times a day from Trivium. Damocles. How dare they not go with the Damocles reference instead? But I do like the sort of Damocles as in general, and hanging by a thread is neat. I don't know how to do that in a game though, in an interesting way. I guess.
We could
I
work
mean,
it.
I'm sure we could work it out. I'm just saying, like, it's not something that excites me as an idea, but I do
Okay.
think I'm going to vote it through just because I would totally make that. Not actual size. That's funny. I like that because it would mean like everything could be wildly different sized from what it actually is. I think that's cool. And if anybody has any like weird ideas of games or whatever they'd make with any of these, I also feel free to throw them in the chat. Real-time strategy, again, is a genre, not a theme.
That one reminds me of MacGyver, actually.
It does.
Uses.
Honestly, all I could think is like I'm one tool with many uses, but like, but no, seriously, I think that's a cool one too. It is very MacGyver-esque, and I already had a couple ideas for like offshoots of MacGyver, so I think that'd be neat.
1-bit isn't quite for us.
Yeah, 1-bit is not for us. I'm gonna down that one. For every up, there is a down. See, this is much more interesting than up and down, at least. And it's right up there with not harsh contrast. It was a while ago now. The things coming together. There was one fancy word for it. And of course I closed that window, so I don't remember it. Equilibrium. It's like equilibrium, except more specific. For every up, there's a down. I think there's another one that'd be really cool in a video game. Like every time you jump, everything else moves, but the opposite way or something. But I don't really necessarily like have a calling to make a tabletop game there. Oh, hey, we have an up and then down, and this is this up and up. There's a city. This just makes, is that BioShock?
Again? Yeah, I was gonna say in every town there's a girl, every girl there's this or something, and then there's a lighthouse. I know it's what it led to.
Yeah, always a city, always a
girl and
lighthouse. Yeah.
Something cool like that. I'm sure we're butchering that to pieces, but
I honestly just want to make a game called There's a City ... and then like whatever happens. But no, I'm good with that one. Unable to progress.
That sounds frustrating.
It does. It does sound interesting though. I could see that as a video game thing. The only way out is through. It's funny because I literally just brought up a Trivium song, and now there's another song called No Way Out, Just Through. So the only way out is through. I like that. I think that is extremely push your lucky. Like, once you're in it, you're in it, and the only way out is to get all the way through it. So,
fair.
Yes. Don't take too much. 100%. I don't even talk about that one. We can still talk about it, but I'm hitting yes on it. I actually have a cool idea, and now it makes me want to make it. It's a another inventory management game, because that's all I like to do anymore. Apparently, is inventory management games where like you polyomino shapes. You're basically the person who is running through the dungeon after the heroes have slaughtered their way through it, like RPG-esque, and you're picking up the stuff, or maybe you just are killing the enemies yourself and you're picking the things up. But basically, you have a deck of cards that are all polyomino shapes, and as soon as the first one's flipped over, or maybe you flip the whole deck. Yeah, that'd be okay, more sense anyway. You flip the whole deck over, and then so that one card is always revealed, and whoever grabs the card first gets it. So it's very much like a race to grab these cards, but you don't fill in your polyomino bag until you're done. So you have to grab all these items, and then you're forced to somehow make them all fit into your bag. And if you can't fit them all, then like there's some kind of big penalty, like you overextended yourself, like. So, somebody else could have picked that up. What's wrong with you? Something like that. I don't know. But I really want to make that. Yeah, I think that'd be cool. So don't take too much. Definitely. I'm up for that. Wait for your turn. You literally do that in most tabletop games anyway.
Yeah.
So, I think in video games that makes sense. Chase with a capital C makes me think of the bank.
Yeah. Bank.
Yeah. Memory. No, well, yeah, I'll say yes, just because that gives you an excuse to make another
shifting memory game.
Yeah, exactly.
I do like those.
Isn't this the quote from The Princess Bride?
Yes, you miserable vomitous mass. Yes.
Yeah, so now we need that just for Princess Bride's sake.
Decide your own purpose.
Yeah.
That sounds very fitting for the new year.
It does, actually. That's true. And if anyone's not familiar with Ludum Dare, there normally isn't one in January. It's normally, there's just 2 throughout the year. I think it's this April and September one are when they normally are. And they just threw one in January this time. So we get 3 of them this year. Yeah, exactly. Like I'm all for it. But yeah, so it is very fitting for that. I'm going to say that, if nothing else, just because it's very fitting for that. I don't think You Can't Go Back is as fun as No Way. The Only Way Out is Through.
Right, I
And
agree.
we already have that. So Forge.
Forge
I
on, forge your own way. We already have a lot of that. Like,
It's true. I was just like, my brain always goes to crafting stuff, so like forging stuff. But I'm sure out of the 922 remaining ones, there's something about crafting. And if not, miserable vomitous mass can be what happens when you craft something wrong. So unbuild.
hmm,
I always like that. I always like reverse anything really. So like unbuilding would be cool. It also means there are a few actually like that already. I think where like you start with an engine building game and you have this really epic engine that you have to tear apart. And so like unbuilding would be something like that. It could be unbuilding a literal building. It kind of makes me want to, it would be cool actually.
I go ahead.
The Minecraft tabletop game, you start with this like cube tower thing and you're building, um, like you use those just like in Minecraft to build, like structures and stuff. So like obsidian and stone and dirt and sand. I think it would be cool that if you played that game while you were doing it, you had to build your own cube tower thingy, like with what the resources you use, and then you have to unbuild it.
Okay, that does sound interesting.
Like I'm totally not going to do that. I'm just saying, like it would be cool to
I
do that.
was thinking about you just said a polyomino thing, and I've never really seen where you have a set polyomino like group like
Mhm.
on one part of the page, and you're basically unbuilding it to build something else. So you don't know what order you're going to get these pieces in, and you're
Oh,
basically moving it from one board that is an identical board, but the only rule is that you can't ever put it back where it was on the other side, so you can't copy the other board, and it has
hmm.
to touch the last thing you put on there. So like your restriction would be that you're unbuilding it in one place and putting it in the other, with the idea of not copying and that it has to touch.
That would be cool. So like My City, but with an extra
Yeah,
like
it's all
like
they're all laying in a, like it's showing like, see, you can actually fill this all up with these pieces, but
that would be interesting too because yeah, you're right. Like it does prove it. Like they do make games like that where like it's like, hey, you know what? Here's this like puzzle of it, but then like that would be a cool restriction on it. Like yeah, you can do that, but like it can't be the same, and you do have to build in an order. You can't just like throw anything anywhere.
mhm,
Two sides to a coin.
that's a lot of interpretation there. But
Yeah, and honestly, my brain just goes immediately to like the fact that a lot of times, especially with print and play stuff, people use coins as their like tokens or whatever. And so like this would be a game that where you're forced to use both of those sides instead of just being like, yeah, whatever, throw a coin on there and who cares. But I mean, at the same time, like you said, it could very well be like the equilibrium where like you're trying to keep those two sides equal, or
I like the
it's
idea of that being a decision maker, kind of like Two Face. And
oh
that,
yeah,
like, if you're playing an RPG or something and you're flipping that coin, like, this is the personality you're dealing with that problem with, So, like, you build two characters and you flip that coin. And though you may have, like, one character that might handle that situation really well, you might have flipped the coin and it's the other one that might not as much, kind of like Dragonholt when we were playing, and we thought, oh, okay, you can go and take your turn, and then maybe what I have will be fitting for the next one. And it's like, oh, wow, that was so much more fitting the other way around, but you're
yeah,
kind
very
of
true.
forced to go one way or another.
I like that one enough. I went ahead and wrote it down. That's cool. I like that a lot. And it's really interesting too because like that's the whole thing. Like the RPG of TTRPG is role playing, and so like I like the idea of like maybe each person has two characters, and so like you're building them to be like there's this one that's a fighter and there's one that's very charismatic, but like oops, the charismatic one has to deal with the dragon now, and the like really strong one has to deal with like
Some negotiation, yeah.
yeah, exactly. So you have to play that out, or even just like you know,
Have your
um,
characters a little bit like more neutral so they can handle things kind of okay, whether what they ever they are.
right. Or like even if it was just like you have a coin and like instead of rolling a d20 or something, like that's your decision making, but it's not success or failure. It's oh, there's a bridge. Like, are you going to cross it, or are you going to do something else entirely, or whatever? Just some. bad example, but and then you flip the coin and you have to like reason why that's the choice your character made and like how you're going to do it.
I like that idea too.
Yeah. Wired Up.
Rochelle says Wired Up could be some kind of deck builder where your cards are used to complete circuits.
Oh, that's interesting. Cool. I think that won me over on that.
Me too.
Because at first I was like, Wired Up. Reuse. I definitely like the idea of reusing because it means you're stuck using the same thing in multiple ways, which again, MacGyver-esque. For those not familiar with MacGyver, it is a game Angel came up with. We made it for, like we said before, Ludum Dare, like 38 or something. It was a while back.
46.
No, 46. Oh yeah, that was 46. You're right. I was thinking that was the last one, but you're right. Yeah, Ludum Dare 46. But basically, Angel came up with it, and well, you can tell them about it then. Actually.
We were struggling on an idea, and I had been seeing a lot of those Facebook challenges where they say, look on your left or look on your right, and whatever you see is what you have to, face the zombie apocalypse or some other silly thing. So we decided that it would be fun to run around the room and gather 10 items, and then have a set of scenarios where you get to pick what's going down and where you're at, and then you have these 10 goofy little everyday items that you have to be able to carry on yourself or with a item that you picked up, like a basket or something, you carry it in that, or a pillowcase or whatever. But then that item could also be used. But these common everyday items would have to get you out of the scenario, such as, you have a piranha pit and a key fell down in it. How are you going to get the key out of the piranha pit? Or there is a light switch high up and you need to turn it on, or there's some kind of laser defense system that you need to navigate through. Like, how are you going to do that with a pencil, a paperclip, a flashlight, and a banana? Like whatever you grabbed in a minute. Good
exactly.
luck.
Yeah, exactly. So it makes a lot of sense for reuse because the whole like when we were doing a scoring system for it, reuse was important in that like you're supposed to use one tool as many times as possible. Which, I mean, it could be anything you wanted because you just got a bonus depending on that. And then you got a bonus if you used each of them once. But we're probably getting rid of the scoring system entirely, but like that was at least where we started on that. I went a little overboard on trying to make the game complex. So anyway, Rochelle says, where was it? A game where all components are recycled stuff from home. All you get is a rule sheet as far as reuse goes. Yeah, Ludum Dare. It was Ludum Dare, the 46 or whatever. In fact, actually, I could probably pull up a.
Yeah, and it says the theme on that was keep it alive.
Oh yeah, because we are keeping ourselves alive, right? That makes sense. Yep. Okay. Trying to see if like that actually is in our history here. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Here is a link to it, actually.
I remember you made it so that you could actually play it in a spreadsheet too. I think.
Yeah, that's right. The files on there. Like if they're on itch, so you go to itch to do it. Oh, that link is not valid anymore though, because it's my old one. I'm gonna have to update that at some point. I'll keep that up so I can do it later. But it's let's see, I'll go get it. Why don't you talk about verticality as a theme then while I do that?
Okay, verticality. That reminds me of the Big Bang Theory when they made, I think, like a Star Trek chess or something, and they had that really high, like 6-tier checker situation going on. So, to me, a board that is more than one layer or builds up sounds fun, or it could be something to do with vertical limits, like mountain climbing. Something like that.
That's cool. In fact, we actually kind of did one a lot less. Like it wouldn't have fit the theme of verticality, but the last Ludum Dare we did, we made a game where it was actually like it was a roll and move where you push your luck, but it's you played basically across 3 different fields and one of them was mountains. So I mean, technically, kind of, sort of, but I like
And that was called the
your ideas for
Epicathlon.
verticality a lot more. Yeah, the epicathlon, exactly. I like your verticality a lot more for verticality, but I think I'm gonna say no to it unless you liked it.
No, I'm all right.
Okay. In a tight spot.
That does feel like a very like limited thing where you could try to make something bigger in a small area, like or with limited parameters.
That's fair. I'm just taking a moment. Angel just sent me on Facebook Messenger the link to Epicathlon. So, but I put both of those in the chat here. Both of those games are totally free because they're not done yet.
But they are completely playable and they're fun. Like
Yeah, exactly.
we
They're
just
both
want to add some things to it.
right. Like the Epicathlon is could use a little more polishing, and it definitely needs the theme added to the sheet itself. But the rules are basically done. And then McIval is totally playable as it is. It's just the cards are plain text.
It's one
And
of those like, are we ever done?
yeah, very fair. That's the problem with digital games, including digital tabletop, like print and play
Yeah,
files. I think I'll take in a tight spot just because there's a lot you can do with that. Undo your horrible mistake sounds hysterical.
that does. I like that idea.
Like, oops, I broke the world. I need to fix it.
That-
Or it could be like undo your horrible mistake, but like, you know how we all blow things out of proportion. So like you're just given like a horrible mistake you have to undo, but like the horrible mistake is just like you forgot to put sugar in your coffee, or like
Oh no.
you got the wrong brand of toilet paper and you got one ply by mistake, so now you have to deal with that. So this
We're
thing's like
just salty about that because we place orders online for our groceries now and we go and pick it up and they've swapped our,
Mhm.
preferred good toilet paper for the like awful stuff they couldn't sell and we finally get through our one ply.
Exactly. It's super fun. Everybody loves one ply toilet paper. All you do is fold it like 37 times and then it's usable toilet paper.
Support? Yeah,
Speaking of support, like
support sounds boring to me.
yeah, I agree. Take notes. What makes me want to make a game where you take notes, because I
It's
take so many notes, but no, I'm not. I'm fine.
not fun.
Underground, it gets worse.
That is intriguing. I like that.
That is actually intriguing,
Reminds me
because
of Above and Below.
yeah, and it just seems like you have all this hope of getting underground, but then you get down there and it's like, nope, that was not a great idea.
It's worser.
Yes, I am definitely keeping that. Fatal error. I like undo your horrible mistake more.
Yeah.
Something wrong, same thing.
Oh, that's generic.
Delivery, there are pickup and delivery games that we have never made one of, but I think I'm gonna pass on that too.
Well, I'll pass on that too because
Yeah, we can't do audio. Well, I mean, we
we
could
could
do audio
just
only, but
talk in a game, but then like we couldn't do only audio to explain that.
right, and it's like that's what a lot of like party games and RPGs and stuff are anyway. It's just like
Unless you
talking.
just want to make an audio game where we just voice everything and then people have to
That
do
would,
it.
that
Like
would be funny.
we could do like a radio horror thing, like where yeah, that would be really
Yeah,
strange.
that's definitely not a weekend thing, but that would be cool to
No,
do.
no, I want to write that down.
Yeah, I'll add it to here. It's cool.
Like we're gonna do a voice file game.
So the next one would be
It could be like people calling into a radio station, and so you have like guest callers. Like you'll just be the radio person, and then I'll just be all these really random people calling in, and then
that would
suddenly
that would be fun.
you have like different clues because people are witnessing something, and you have to figure out what it is they're witnessing, like by the things that they're saying and calling in randomly and hollering and freaking out about.
I like that. They have like murder mysteries and stuff. I don't see where like something like that wouldn't work anyway.
Like a
And I
old radio show mystery, yes.
yeah, and honestly, for the most part, even those you basically like you listen to something or watch something, and then like each person gets a card for like if they're the murderer or whatnot, and that's it. So I mean, like something that this would be just as easy, except it'd be like a solo experience where you're trying to figure it out. Um, I don't know which of the two pronunciations I got here right, but Matonkel here says I can imagine some really cool audio only games, but can't imagine playing hundreds of these. That's a really good point.
I was saying that, I was thinking that too, because it would just be really silly to like, okay, here's a whole bunch of video game people. They can't make a video game now. They just get to make audio.
Right. And that's the thing. Like, one of the coolest things about Ludum Dare is after Ludum Dare is over, which is only like, it runs from Friday. I think in our time, it's like, well, it says right there, Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, which is weird because I thought it was usually like more like 10 p.m. So they're changing it up a little bit, or I just don't remember very well. But after this 3-day period, you get like a whole month or so where you rate other people's games because there's so many of them. And so you're playing a bunch of games based around the same theme. And I can definitely agree that I don't want to sit here and listen to a bunch of games for, a month either. So, but for those not familiar with Ludum Dare, one of the coolest things about that part of the phase too is that they have a really cool way of encouraging people to do it. They have what's called like a coolness factor to each game. And each time you rate someone else's game, your coolness goes up. But every time your game is rated, your coolness goes down. So, you get one of the things here on the buttons here, like when you're rating stuff, there's actually like rate it, and then you have different ways to sort it, but the main way is coolness factor. So you'll see like the ones that have been rated the least, but have rated the most, and then you sort down, and it's just a really cool way to see, like ones that need help or whatever too. If you don't get 20 ratings, then generally you don't even get rated in the top games at the end of Ludum Dare. So there's that too. Like you want to rate as many other people's games as possible so that your coolness goes up, so that they rate yours, so that your coolness goes back down, and you need to do that again. But then you get a 20 and it's like, yes, I did it. So page up, page down, I'm going to say no to, because it makes me think of the keyboard buttons.
Mm-hmm.
Heads or tails. I like two sides of the coin better.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would have loved this if the theme right before was Never Gonna.
So Phil Rickroll-y.
Yeah, like really close to it at least, but no.
Yeah, because I don't know that might feel kind of negative if it was something where, you have to have like a battle of wills. Like, just give up.
Yeah. We just watched actually an episode of The Office like a couple hours ago. We've been doing this for an hour, so it was more than an hour ago. But it was that episode where Andy was being a real like jerk in the office, and trying to like cozy up to Michael. But he'd made a quote, or he said a line that was something like, like in business and with the women, his specialty is that he can very slowly, painfully wear everybody down. And so that's what I feel like that victory would be. Like you're slowly, painfully making the other player give up. And like, yeah, that doesn't sound like the most fun thing in the world anyway. So it sounds like a really fun one-time experience, like a funny thing, but like not a game.
Yeah, it feels more like the stand by a car and put your hand on it until like you win it, kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Hey, Panda Angel, and the people that came with you.
Hello.
Nice to meet you all. We are doing something a little different today from the tabletop stuff. We're talking about Ludum Dare. Ludum Dare is a 48 to 72 hour game jam. And the premise is that you are making something in that game, in that period. Normally it's video games, but Angel and I make tabletop games, so we make tabletop games for it. This is called Theme Slaughter, where everyone can submit like up to 2 themes that they want. And then this is the total here. And you either vote yes that you like it, no that you don't like it. If it's something bad, you can flag it. I haven't seen any of those yet, but just a warning, there may be some stuff on the stream. If somebody submitted something that has cursing in it or whatever, that may show up on the screen. Again, we haven't run into that yet, but and I'll just like flag it as quickly as possible if that does happen, but it is possible. So we've been talking about different themes and what we'd make with them, basically, is the premise of this. And yeah, thank you very much for coming by. We really do appreciate it. It's awesome to see all of you and awesome to meet you. The source. I don't really think, I can't think of enough to make that interesting. Like it's like was brought up earlier by Matonkel here. It's something that like you're going to get a lot of games that are basically the same.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I think I'm gonna pass on that one.
Just reminds me of Highlander, the source, the movie, and
oh, there you go.
Kind of the worst of the movies.
Well, that alone, like, nope. Wow, we're actually I don't know what happened to us. Maybe we got sick of all the like samey themes, but now like this used to be like half green and half red. Now it's like red, 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 red. Breaking the Law is another one of those where I feel like it's just not something that sounds exciting. like because you can take Underground, it gets worse, and make it Breaking the Law, and that's more fun.
We're such rebels that breaking the law is blasé.
Yeah. Oh, Jess is here too. Hey, Jess.
Death makes you stronger. I thought it said death makes you a stranger, and I'm like, that's interesting.
That'd be interesting. Like you're losing your memory every time you die, but you do come back. I think Death Makes You Stronger is basically roguelike. You know, it's just basically what that is. Like you die and then you get stronger in the process. Like, but and I've always wanted to make a roguelike game, but I don't like this take on it as a theme. Second person view.
I like that one.
I like it, but I don't know how you do that in a tabletop game. Like, I think that'd be really cool for the video games that are going to come out.
Fair.
But like, well, I mean, I guess really second person view would be like, oh, what's that game? The one where you put the cards on your head, like headbands or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like you're trying to solve what the other person has on their head, and if you could like see that, you'd just be all set.
Speaking of The Office, do you remember it's like, oh, am I a woman?
Yeah. So, and of course, you have to say that to a woman too. So it's like, no.
Exactly.
We all fall down. I think that's a fun title for a game, like for our TTRPGs. But I don't think it's a great theme for Ludum Dare.
We wear Nixon a lot of them now.
We are.
We're down to 900.
Yeah.
Oh,
wait, what? Yeah, I like it too. Oh, by the way, part of what we're doing here with the theme slaughter is if anybody here has ideas for a game that would be interesting for any of these themes, any of these things, feel free to throw it on the chat. It could be something ridiculous, like, wait, what makes you think of, I don't know, maybe it's an extension of the game Clue where, it's revealed the person did it with the weapon in that room. And then you're like, wait, what? That can't be because I'm the murderer. And then so like then the game shifts to this whole different thing. I don't know. So, but yeah, basically, yeah, you can take things in any direction if you want to. But as far as Angel and I, we are trying to think of games that can be made over the course of a single weekend. So the things we're going to be making ideas of are going to be much smaller.
Because that's the parameters of Ludum Dare is that you only have a few days to do it.
Right. Ludum Dare is a 3-day jam. So I'm going to say yes to wait, what, and we can come up with something. Do your worst. I like that because it's another one of those, like, you almost want to lose or just the threat of like, fine, do your worst, whatever. So
I agree. That one sounds funny because it just sounds like it's going to lead to something silly.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like those would be fun to play for a month, like just a bunch of different people coming up with do your worst. Paradox. It's another one I feel like would be cool to explore over like a month or two, but not really in a weekend. There's too much to that, especially for a tabletop game.
Yeah,
I'm sure you could do it. It's just not exciting.
It's exciting in the long term, but not in the short term.
Yeah.
Sailing. There's so many like boat type games, but we haven't made one.
That's true. We have not. Enjoy your lunch, Panda.
Thanks for coming by.
I think that would be cool too. I'm all for making anything to do with sailing, pirates, like whatever, nauticalness. So sure. Dangerous places.
The Cliffs of Insanity.
Yes. See, something more like inspiring like that would have been better, I think. But educational, again, is not really a like theme. It's a like an adjective. It's something you aim for.
Going through a whole bunch of games that are educational.
Well, see, I just feel like, if that's the case, then like everybody should take one. So it would be a different theme, but it should be like hyper specific educational where like, like you get a random Wikipedia page and make a game about it that teaches you about it. But famous poetry. Okay.
It's so bad that it's good.
Yeah,
I think we could play with that.
I like that more than do your worst, actually. So I'm going to hit yes on that, and I'm going to go to do your worst, and I'm going to say no because I like it's so bad. It's good. So much more. Light. It's another one. Like, it's just like,
it's too generic.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone has problems. I feel like that would have been something I would have come up with on a day that I wasn't feeling my best. Like, whatever. Everyone has problems.
But that reminds me of some of the card games we've already come up with, but like, that are kind of snake oil-ish, and that
Oh
like,
yeah, that's true.
this is why your devastating thing means nothing because, everyone has problems. I don't
Oh,
know.
that's true. So it'd be like I'm doing the thing, but like reverse. So like
Yeah.
instead of trying to make the like mundane thing you're doing into the best thing ever, you're trying to make the
Worst thing
like
ever, like no big deal.
yeah, exactly. Or the opposite, like the thing that's like really not that bad at all, like first world problemy, into
Hmm.
like the worst thing ever. Like, oh my goodness, I stubbed my toe, my life is ruined. Like, which makes me want to make a game like that, but I don't want to make that as a theme. Suspicious sounds. That sounds like another one to be really cool in a video game potentially, but not really like.
Well, there's a lot of games that make you draw things. Like it would be really funny if you had to do a sound effect for a thing, like to get people to
Huh.
guess. But you couldn't do like the obvious one, kind of like taboo where you can't say the obvious words. You couldn't make the obvious sounds. Like a monkey couldn't be woo woo woo. No, it had to be, like the sound of chewing a banana or something weird.
Like obviously I was eating a banana. Like, how do you not get that from the sound I was making? Okay.
Sustainability sounds like something you should do and not something you should play.
Right, exactly. Like that's how I feel about it too. Don't get caught. I feel like just for the fact that I played a game last Let 'em Dare that like was anxiety driven, like driving, that was about not getting caught, makes me not want to do that one. Yes, the power of friendship. That one automatically gets in. Growth. I feel like growth was a theme already, or something along those lines was a theme like a few years ago. So,
That might be. That sounds fun.
yeah, Destroy It All sounds cool, especially since
Ooh, we
like,
can make a exit game.
oh, there you go. Yeah, so it's destroy all the parts, not
Yes,
like the game is not over until you've literally destroyed every single thing that you like.
because yeah, you have to utilize it in different ways.
I like that. That's cool. Multiple multipliers. That sounds like that game that I was just talking about the other day, where you were like, "Is this just math?" Or like,
Sorry to like rob you of any joy of that game.
oh no, it's fine. You were
Like
right.
this
I
game
was
is just math.
yeah, it was an experimental game I came up with in the first place. Like, and then yeah, I was like, we didn't even actually play it. I just explained the game as I was putting the cards out, and that was exactly the reaction. This is just math, and so like,
It's like
yeah, basically. So like, yeah, that's fine. I feel like multiple multipliers would be cool in like an idle game or like something like that, but I would not.
it just reminds me of Contra.
Yeah.
Like where you're just getting obliterated by things. Like there's just an
Oh, that's
obscene amount
true.
of things coming at you.
Or like all the YouTube videos where it's all like it's Shrek, but every time he talks, the movie goes like 0.5% faster. So then the whole movie's only like a minute and a half long because eventually the speed's just like so fast that like it just ends.
Yes.
So I'm gonna say
Or
no
like
to it.
the meme that we saw where Ryan Gosling was wearing a shirt of
Oh yeah.
Macaulay Culkin, and then Macaulay Culkin wore a shirt of Ryan Gosling wearing Macaulay Culkin's. Yeah, and it just kept going on.
Rochelle says something with a lot of scoring conditions for multiple multipliers, which like that's interesting. Now we need to make a game that's only like 5 minutes long, but then like figuring out the scoring takes like 45 minutes.
Oh, you
Like
know how I love those.
I do.
Like it's so silly, but it takes longer to score than to play the game.
Oh, and then that goes with the other theme from before where it was all like give up because the only way you win is by making the other person give up on trying to figure out what their score is. Gathering. It's another one of those I feel like is way too open. Like I don't feel like I'm cheating by figuring out a different take on that one. So first days. Eh.
Very creation-y.
Yeah, or like it's my first day at this job. Like, so of course I'm gonna do a bad job. Like which then makes me want to make a game about you doing a bad job at stuff. But I feel like there was another theme that was basically that. Like do your worst or whatever. So
Sorry, we live with people. They're
yeah,
going in
so
and out of a very squeaky door.
yep, this gave me noises. So it's also why this wall is here. Keep pushing forward. I already like no way out but through or whatever that one ended up being. The only way out is through.
I
Like that
agree
one.
that that was a better way of saying that.
Yeah. It is not what it seems.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's right. Judging panel.
There's so many games that have been done with that, where you kind of score people like on. Yeah, so I don't know. Unless
Yeah,
you
I
do
agree.
something totally like um different, like an actual, like someone is passing judgment, like rather than scoring you.
Yeah, that's fair. Through the storm. I
I
still
like
like
that.
the other one more. But
Yeah.
yeah, through the storm is fair because it's like a storm is temporary. You're not like it's going through you, not the other way around. So like that's fair. Like you got to weather through it. Like get through it. Leave something behind. I like that as like another demake one actually. Like we had a couple before that were all like unbuild it or whatever, and so I feel like leave something behind would be another one. Or it could just as easily be like you're leaving something behind. Like maybe you're some grand adventurer, and like you have to go through all these little towns or whatever on your way, but like just leaving a little something of your treasures would like make this place so much better. And it's worthless to you. Like, oh, of course you have 999 potions. Like, why don't you give some to them, like on the way through, and then like they'll be much better off. So that's awesome.
That sounds like a good cooperative game.
It does. You're right. It does. That's awesome. I like that as a cooperative game theme. Hidden is another one that's way too open.
I agree.
Interlinked. Eh.
I feel like Nothing to Lose has been covered in better ways too.
Mhm.
I like that one.
Yeah, Lost in the Future is cool.
That speaks to my sci-fi loving self.
Oh, Rochelle says Judging Panel, a game about matching pieces of flat wood polyomino style. I like that too. That's awesome. Now we just need to get everybody to print out a bunch of flat wood pieces. Yeah, I
Are
like
you
Lost.
knowing that? I'm like, hey, didn't we just do that?
Yeah, every 10 seconds is literally the theme last Ludum Dare, so that automatically gets knocked out. It was actually a fun theme, though, I will say.
Somebody wanted to try over or missed
Yeah,
it.
yeah, they missed it, so they wanted to do it this time. Looping strategy. I always think those are really cool in games. I've actually tried to make a game like this once. The idea was that you had these square cards and you'd set them down, and then you were basically building a machine. So every time you set down a card, after you were done building the engine, like literally an engine, you would like run your piece through it, and all that stuff would happen. So like some of the things would be like gains, some of them would be losses, some of them would multiply. So like if you put those things in the right order, you're gaining a lot of resources and not losing too many or whatever. Um,
That'd be a decent rondel game too.
Yeah, it would. I like looping strategy. Lost in Colors just makes you think of something that's going to be like really rainbowy, and I'm totally up for that. So
Yeah, it reminds me of Hues and Cues though.
that's true. Which like, yeah, I remember that the video too. He's like, it should be hues and clues, like
Yes.
recipes, but it's spelled wrong. But I mean, that's fine. Everybody's gonna spell stuff wrong. It doesn't matter. Like if you've ever seen my Twitter account, like people are gonna spell stuff wrong. Um,
Eh.
Recipe though, I'm like something for everyone is literally what you don't want to do with a tabletop game. Like you're
Yeah.
just trying to find an audience, and then I get that something for everyone could be like an overburdening yourself in that like you're so busy trying to have something for everyone that like you can only make it so far in this game, so you're trying to outlast your opponents. But no, become sentient.
Hmm.
This is a video game jam, and the theme is to become sentient. I think that the robot overlords are trying to tell everybody to try to make everything sentient
Hmm.
and start the robot apocalypse. So
We're not falling for it.
yeah, we're tabletop game creators anyway, so we're gonna do it anyway. It
I,
weighs you down. I
I'm
like
sworn to carry your burdens.
yes, I like this one more than the lighter or whatever. Like like I forgot what the theme was exactly, but it was something like that where like you're supposed to make things less heavy.
Yeah, I like that one
But
too.
I like this one more. So old habits die hard, which again is very fitting for New Year's. That sounds like another like the looping thing actually. Like so like if throughout the game you're building habits, which is your loop, and then like you're trying to get rid of them instead though. So like you start the game with these bad habits, and that's your turn as you're going through all these bad habits, and you're trying to like replace them with good ones. I think that's kind of cool actually.
That feels generic. Day and
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
Reverse time. That sounds good.
Yeah, I went for reverse time. Dentist.
No one wants to go to the dentist. I'm not going to want to play a game that goes to the dentist.
No.
Once
Once per game.
game.
I swear there was already one like this. Like once.
I feel like there was too.
I think it was like once in your life or something though. Unfinished is what most of our games will be. So we don't need that as a theme though. On and off. I like the other versions of this one more. Fun with text.
I'd like to do more than text though.
Oh my goodness, Rochelle says a game about an elderly assassin nun. Which one is that? The Old Habits Die Hard? Because like
the habits.
Yeah, that's awesome. I should have known Rochelle would go for the pun. That's awesome. Well done. Yeah, fun with text sounds cool, but I feel like I would be the one having the fun with the text and that you would be, not the people playing it.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that could make a cool party game where like you have to write whatever the thing is in a way that only like one person can read it or something. Or even,
you know, those games where you write out you write it out literally, so it's like the space between, so you have between and then like a space between it, you know.
Oh, like, that's true too. Like you're right.
Games.
I'm actually going to turn off my camera for a minute while I go to the bathroom. So I'll be right back. If you want to do so also, Angel, more than welcome to.
Yeah, we will be right back.
Yeah, we'll be right back. I'm going to put that in the chat. We don't normally stream so long that we have to. So. And we're back. And have a great day, Jess. Thanks for stopping by. I don't know if anyone's familiar with situation there. Jess is someone that we both work with Weird Draft Games. She was just on Panda Angel's channel. They were playing, it looked like Boop. Right before we started streaming here ourselves, the Weird Draft Games channel said, like, while we're offline, check out. And it was Panda Angel's channel. So we saw a little bit of that before we got on here. A little late, but whatever. Anyway, back to this. Between the Spaces is the next theme. There's another one that I feel like that's just encouraging enough to do something.
Yeah, that's fair.
But it's not like exciting though, like I don't know. Between the Spaces is like, I don't know. I'm just kidding. No. I think that's a thing. Maybe that's how so many people end up with so many slaughtered themes. Because I was looking at it like, how do you kill like 90% of them? But like, yeah, after a while, it's just kind of like, whatever. I don't care enough now. Like this isn't winning me over any more than the other ones did. So
fair.
So with that said, if anyone ends up watching this at any point and they're the ones to submit any of these, it's not your fault. It's just that like after a while, you get tired of seeing themes. They actually said that like what was it in courtrooms? I think they said like if you are being arraigned like early in the day, you actually have better odds of getting a more lenient sentence or not being punished at all than if it's like right after lunch or right before lunch or something like that, because the judges are in worse moods or they're more tired. So they're just like, whatever. Like, and they actually did studies and found that to be true. I don't remember what time was the worst time, but there actually are specific times when judges give worse sentences because of being in bad moods. So
I actually learned that lesson in 9th grade. I had a earth science teacher, and my desk was front and center of where he stood. He stood right in front of my desk every day, and it just happened to be that he could go and take a smoke break after every class except for this one because he didn't have time to. And so he didn't get his cigarette before class, and he always took it out on me. So it was just definitely something.
Oh no.
I learned well.
Yeah, you're living proof of that one. You're Not Alone, I think, is interesting. And I feel like there was one earlier that was like a horror one. And I feel like You're Not Alone allows you to have that horror element to it without necessarily being horror.
Yeah, and I think that that's something too when you're cutting things. It's just that there are a lot that are very similar and might have been just said a little bit like more inspiringly. And when it comes to a challenge where you only have 3 days to make a game, you need something that is going to set your direction and set it clearly and quickly so that you can get creating.
Right, exactly. Yeah, if you spend, if this starts at 3 p.m. and I don't have an idea till 11 and then I can't make it, or, like do much work on it that night, so then I'm not sleeping very well because I'm thinking more, like it's not going to go very well. So I'm going to say yes to You're Not Alone. RPG is not a theme. It is a genre. Risky Rewards. Might as well have called this Risk It for the Biscuit after Justin on our team. Sorry, what's up, baby?
And we should say yes to that.
I was definitely thinking yes anyway. Now we have high risk, high reward. I like Risky Rewards more. It's alliterative. It's fewer words. So, haiku.
I feel like that could lead to like limitations rather than like, actually a haiku. But I don't know.
Yeah,
how you gamify that.
I don't either, but at the same time, I feel like that could be really cool. So I'm gonna say yes, with the assumption that other people are slaughtering it, and that even if they didn't, that it doesn't make it to the end. And if it does, then we'll make a haiku game somehow.
We'll make a 575 game of some sort. Like,
yeah, oh, that's true. Yeah, it could just be the numbers or something, or just the concept of haiku, like the way it captures feelings in a very concise way. So like you're breaking that down.
Mm-hmm.
I think You Can Edit It would be another fun one. Very legacy game-esque. Very.
I was just thinking that.
Yeah, so I definitely like that. You Can Edit It, yes. Locomotion.
That's a dance.
I was just thinking that. I was like, I can't think of the name of that song, but it might
really
even
Locomotion.
Oh, okay, that works out then. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. Anthropomorphic cyberpunk.
Well, that's interesting.
Yeah, but Canva doesn't have any anthropomorphic cyberpunk.
It's good that you know that.
I mean, I would assume they don't. I can't imagine, considering we barely found enough things for an 18 card game that was just like, fantasy esque. I can't
No,
imagine we're
but
going to find enough of this. So
you're wrong.
you won't believe it. Whoever put this in there as a coward for not putting an exclamation point at the end is all I know. That definitely deserves an exclamation point. I think that this would be fun for us to make a small little game, at least. Like, like, you won't believe it, what happened to me today. And then, like, it's, again, kind of like the other idea earlier, like, it's just like something very basic. And then the other person has to pretend like they're so blown away by it. Like, no way you drank 8, servings of water today. What? Or like, I don't know, just something basic. I don't know, though. I'm not a fan of that one as a theme, though. The end of the line, I think that's interesting. Because that can be taken very literally or very metaphorically. It could just be that you are playing a game until the end of a line. You can be trying to end lines like Railroad Inc. That we've been playing a bit of. It could be that you are... I think they did that in something, but like, you're on a railroad or something and it's not finished. And so you're trying to build it while you're moving at the same time and not outrun it, or else you lose.
That sounds fun.
Yeah, so there's a lot of cool things there. I like that. Of course, we went from something like the end of the line to duck.
Birds.
Yeah, I was going to say it's still a bird, though. So we have to, for those unaware, Carla of Weird Draft Games, Angel, and I are Quirky Bird Games. So duck has to be included. It's a lie. I like that. It reminds me of the, I don't know about making it as a theme for a game, but I like it because it just reminds me of the whole like riddle of like, one door only tells the truth, one door only tells lies. Like, how do you figure out which? Yeah. So I like it in theory. I don't think I like it as something we're going to play like 1,000 games of. Rochelle with duck in all capital letters. It had to be.
If anyone was curious, Beth was right that Canva does not have anthropomorphic cyberpunk. I searched it, and the first thing I got was a lot of vegetables and fruits with faces on them. So, yeah, that's not quite what we were looking for.
No, not at all. Just need some monocles or something, though, and we're on our way at least.
Mr. Peanuts.
Yes. All or nothing.
That's,
Yeah, that's how I feel about it, too. Like, it's
open-ended.
And it's weird too, because there are some themes that like your brain just immediately gets an idea, like all or nothing. Okay, this is a like wagering game where it's all in or not at all, or something.
That's
or like
done so much.
Yeah, or like Risk, but instead of like being able to send only part of your army, you have to send literally everything. But like, yeah, it just doesn't sound fun. Artificial seems really general too.
Mm-hmm.
Salvage is fun.
That's general, but that sounds more interesting than artificial.
Yeah, I just want to make something about salvaging. So.
There's too many things about castles.
Yeah. Remember that you will die.
I do every day.
Yeah, that's Memento Mori for everyone that doesn't know what Memento Mori actually means. And it's meant as a positive. It's meant as, live your life the best you can because you will die one day. So remember that you will die. It just reminds me of, what was that movie called? I know you hated it, and I know I'm not interested in it at all. Was it Crank? Is that what it's called?
Oh.
Where like, he'd die if his heart rate gets too low. So like, but basically just the premise that like, you're told you're going to die. So you're just trying to extend your life in any way possible. But yeah, I'm not excited about that one. So, historically inaccurate, which is funny because there's actually a historical accuracy jam going on right now on Itch.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. And I think it was down to either folklore or something else. They were doing voting on it. I didn't see which one won, but so I think historically inaccurate would be really fun. There's actually a word for that. Anachronistic. Is that the word?
Maybe.
Like, where like you'll watch a movie. Oh, it was like Game of Thrones actually, where they were picking on them because there was a Starbucks mug in the shot. So basically something that's out of place, like would not exist in that time. I think that.
Yeah, that's actually the word.
Oh yeah, awesome. I
belonging to a period other than that being portrayed.
Yay. So I think historically inaccurate actually sounds funny too. I would love to see a bunch of games about this one. I guess
we have a title now, like anachronistic.
Yeah. Boom. Right, there we go. In fact, there's actually, I think, a tabletop game called Anachrony already. So,
And we could rhyme it with like anarchy, anachronistically and anarchistic. Like that sounds like something I want to say a lot.
that sounds like supercalifragilisticexpialidocious,
Yes.
but like with anarchy and being in the wrong time.
Yeah.
Neat and tidy are two things that I am not, but it does remind me again of the theme of like, you're picking up after the warriors or heroes that ran through a dungeon and like left all the loot behind. But I don't think it's exciting. Like
Me neither.
Solstice, I think it would be a cool setting, and there's a lot you can do with Solstice, but I'm not excited about it. Kind of like Silence. Like I think Silence would be a cool limitation, but I don't think it makes a cool theme. Gotta go fast.
That reminds me of the 10-second one we just had to do. So I don't know about that one.
Oh, Rochelle says anachronistic avians. So
Bringing
way
it
to bring
back
up,
to the birds.
yeah, exactly. Way to bring it back to birds. I'm gonna say no to Gotta Go Fast, even though obviously that's the meme. That's awesome, but whatever.
Oh, there's a meme.
Yeah, Gotta Go Fast is just like Sonic the Hedgehog. Like he always says Gotta Go Fast, so like it's just Sonic in general. Do it again. I think that's another one that's like the looping thing. Like,
Mhm.
okay, cool, you did it. Now do it again. Or honestly, that would actually be the perfect like tagline or something of the polyomino when you were talking about, where like it's all set up perfectly and it's like, cool, you did it. Now do it again. And then like you have to,
Yeah, like get it to the other side.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did I make a note of that one? No, I didn't. I need to make that. Nope.
Yeah, because it wasn't your idea. I see how it is.
I put down party game where you make weird
I'm
sounds to get
just
people to guess something.
playing.
Voice file game, radio talk show where people call in.
Okay.
Game where actually, since I'm typing and being boring, you can talk about control the weather while I take this note down.
Weather. Why you be popping up things that don't give me any inspiration?
Well, here, I'll just exit out then.
There you go.
There you go.
Protect your friends. That reminds me of like it's dangerous. Take this.
Oh, that's true. You're right. Yeah. We just made that game pretty recently. It's it's called This Dangerous. You really need this. And it's basically what is that game called now? But it's you're given like you're each different people in a village, and somebody is the legendary hero that's going to go conquer this dungeon. And so Snake Oil, that's the name of the game. It's Snake Oil meets Legend of Zelda, basically. So you each roll for the item that you have, this legendary artifact, and then you have to explain why it'll work well in the dungeon that the local hero has to go into. So like I think somebody had actually come up with one of the examples from the game. They were saying like, oh yeah, you're going into like the volcano. Of course, this step ladder will really help you out. And so like you have to like explain why, and then just like in that general sense of it, that like whoever is chosen gets the point, and then that's the end of that round. So protect your friends, yes or no?
Nah.
That's what I was thinking too. No text. That's a cool limitation, and it's something great for encouraging people to get their things to be playable by anyone of any like language. But I don't think it's a cool theme.
I agree.
And I think it's a lot easier in video games. Like you literally just like, here, we're not going to tell you what any of the controls do, just like figure it out.
Right, because you have to have rules, like, so to explain your game. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, very true. I think even Chris of Junk Food Games, I always go to him as a great example because he does a bunch of games in tweets. And so like a lot of times he'll actually use emojis to represent things. Like he did one called Cool Ranch, and it was all like, you're on a cool ranch. And so like he had an icon for cool and an icon for ranch. And then every time from then on that the word cool was used, because these are different like ratings or whatever in the game, like you just see that symbol instead. So like after the initial thing, you can literally just say like, if cool greater than this and that. So like you don't need words anymore, but you do need them to create that situation. Otherwise you'd have no idea what's going on. Disposal. I think it's another one that's interesting because there's so much you can do with it, but I think it's so generic, like general.
It leads back to like exit games to me, but like I think the other ones set it better.
Yeah, and I was thinking again of like dumping items from your bag.
Yeah,
So propulsion, I think that's a fair one for video games, but not really for
right. Our screen's all red
parasitic.
again.
Oh, it is. Wow. Yeah, we're down to like a third of them kept now. Interesting. I
Eh,
think parasitic is that too. Yeah,
it's gross. Baron
Baron
is
too.
exciting for me.
It is.
Yeah, I don't know. Like to me, it leads to like a lot of limitations. Like I don't know, like Baron. Just like if you can do something with little, like I don't know,
Okay, I'm cool
like
with that.
set collecting with like not very many things that actually match or
Oh, that's interesting.
something like that.
I like that. Keep control. I kind of like that starts off with you already in control, and then you're struggling to keep it instead of like the game being, whoever can get control wins. This is like, but really, it makes me think more of like authoritarian, like governance versus like the rebels or something.
Hmm.
And so, like other people are going to do that a lot better than we can do it in 2 days. So take it easy. That's actually some good. If anybody here is doing or has done a Ludum Dare, that's great. A suggestion for Ludum Dare, because you wanted, like, you have this 48-hour, 72-hour period, and so your brain is just like, well, I just won't sleep, then I have more time, and it's like, okay, cool, you can do that, but like, especially if you're making video games, your code is going to be so buggy that it's going to take you like 10 times longer to fix it than if you just had the sleep. So take it easy though as a game theme. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that one. What about you?
That sounds like a country music song and not a theme.
Yeah, very fair. Don't look.
Huh? That could be something.
Yeah, I don't really have any ideas with it at the moment, but I do think it would be cool to make a game where you don't look.
It'd be funny to originally have a hand of cards, and you know what those are. Like, but then you have to swap things. Like, I don't know, without looking at them. Like, and hope that you have
Oh, that'd be interesting.
a hand that is something you're aiming for. I don't know.
That'd be a cool solo game too, or even like the opposite. Like you can see all the cards that are out, like in the middle, but not your hand.
Hmm.
So like maybe you see a cool pattern in there that you want to go for, but then so does your opponent. So like you
Yeah.
have half of it, and then like you're stuck with like trying to figure that out.
Or even if you're just trading the cards from your hand into cards you've seen, so you can kind of try to remember where those are, but they're turned over. So
That's
you're
cool.
trying to make a pattern, but with cards that you don't know what they are
Yeah,
until you do. Like, so you're kind of unrevealing cards that were revealed, but then you're putting them back somewhere else. So you're trying to make a pattern out of something without actually having a view of where that was. So you have to remember where those things are, even if you're just laying them in front of yourself in a certain way.
that's interesting. I'd definitely try that out. I think that'd be cool to try out for sure, especially since you are doing those memory games. So the sliding memory,
Hmm.
um, it doesn't make sense.
You don't make sense.
Yeah, big combo. It just makes you think of like the combos that are snacks,
Oh, yeah.
uh, and then but there's just like one big one. It feels like something they do on like Good Mythical Morning, like when they make the like the small things big and the big things small, like big combo, just like one giant pretzel with like a like 8 cans worth of squeezed cheese in it. Like, but no, I'm not a fan of that one as a theme.
Me either. Ace?
Asymmetrical isn't bad. Uh, Not exciting though.
No.
Generations makes me think of like Rogue Legacy, where like you start off with this one, and then like their kids, the kids of kids, like are the ones that are actually clearing out the dungeon for you and stuff, because like everything's getting built up and stuff. So very rogue likey,
Hmm.
or Star Trek.
That one doesn't say anything to me.
That's how I feel too.
Oh, piracy.
You wouldn't steal a Let 'em Dare theme, would you?
But I would.
Yeah. Yeah, go for it. Go to purpose. I don't even know exactly what's meant by this. Like, what's this meant as like go to? like go-to purpose, like this is your go-to purpose, or like
Oh, okay.
are
I
you
was just
going to
thinking
your
it
purpose, or like I don't know. I'm just gonna say no because I don't even understand it. Arrows. I feel
like,
like arrows is more interesting in a video game too because you actually have arrow keys in addition to just like literal arrows. Badass. I love that. This reminds me of not Bioshock, Borderlands, where the one dude, everything is badass. I can't think of his name now, but I'm not going to look that one up either because I don't care that much. But yeah, um, I don't think I like that as a theme though, because like our game's going to be badass regardless. So we don't need a theme to tell us that. That is an interesting one.
mm.
I think it's
That feels
mostly
more
interesting
like
just because.
a weird Zen exercise than it does a game theme.
Yeah, that's the thing. It feels like it's interesting just because it's almost like an AI threw some words together. Like
Mhm.
like make this work. The stone is alive. Like
And that would be cool in a video game because you could just have a character that was a stone, but like how do you make a rock interesting in a board game?
yeah, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. It's in the air. All I could think of is like a board game that you open the box and it's like, oh no, it's too late. You inhaled it. Cut out. Um, no.
Well, you're cutting a lot of cards out when we print and play, so
Yeah, true. And I feel like cutout is more interesting in a tabletop game than a video game. Like I wouldn't want to have to cut a bunch of stuff out in a video game. Like,
well, we did get that clip game or whatever that was called.
oh,
Like,
that's true. Snipper clips. Yeah,
yeah, that was interesting.
that was really cool. If anybody has a Switch, like Nintendo Switch, I would highly recommend Snipper Clips, especially if you have another person to play it with. It's a really cool cooperative game where you have to like cut things in the right shape. It's very puzzly. It's very interesting.
But take
Um,
that as you will, as we like enjoy Overcooked, and
yeah,
that is ragey for some people. So
yeah, it was. We I think we got pretty angry a few times in that one too, but
we
like
did
not
get a
like
little
angry at each other, just like
like with a couple of the puzzles, but we
yeah,
worked it out. Just because it wasn't responding the way we thought
right,
it
or
should,
like we couldn't
was
quite
glitching.
line things up
Yeah.
right because it's very much about like lining things up exactly right. Vertical exploration. We just had like the verticality or whatever before,
Yeah,
and
I
like
think that that's a little more like limited for us than it would be
mhm,
for people with
that's true. Yeah,
that one's kind of generic.
yeah, I think that too. Top down shooter, no thanks.
Eh.
Reach the skies.
Hmm,
I'm thinking no, but
no.
I forget I can just say no, and then if you're like actually you like this, then I can always like click on it and change it to yes. Quake is a video game, and it's also Earthquake, but um, Keep It Together is interesting.
Yeah, I like that one.
Between Two Worlds is cool too. I like that one
I like
also.
that one too.
Wow, way to get two in a row there. We're jamming now.
Beyond your world or our world, someone's world.
Yeah, Beyond Somebody's World. I feel like that's another one that's a little too generic, like
Yeah,
because
I
that
agree.
could be anything. It's like
Space. It could be in the ocean. It could be another dimension.
it could even be like Divergent esque, like the whole world is the city, but then like you get outside the walls and oh my goodness, there's a whole world out there. So
Mhm.
like yeah, a life shared. I like that for the thought that like you share health or something.
I like
Um,
because we were watching Severance the other day.
yeah,
It's like two people in one body, but they only experience part of their day. So they never remember their home life or their work life, depending on who they are. So like that's kind of interesting to me, like thinking of it that way.
that's a good point. I like that. Decipher is another really generic. In this world, things are different. Like that just sounds like beyond our world, but
Hmm.
less interesting. Unconventional mechanics. Why am I
That
thinking of somebody like that's an actual like vehicle mechanic, but like that just like hits it till it works? Like we do with our computers. What were you gonna say though?
that could be challenging, but I think we would try to rise to the occasion too much and try to come up with some mechanic that has never been used in a board game and run out of time.
Yeah, or like let's combine six different mechanics together,
Yeah.
like real time uh auction, flipping right,
Spatial
whatever else.
reasoning.
Yeah, exactly. Turn the tables. I think that's cool
How
in
the
that, like, sorry, go ahead.
turntables, like what was that saying? There's
Oh yeah, yes. What I don't remember what that's from.
me neither.
I'm almost
But
sure it's The Office. Like
mhm.
Rochelle's probably over there, like angrily, like typing right now. But it's oh yeah, well, how the turntables, like dot dot dot, like because it's gonna be turn, but like um turn the tables. I think would be interesting for like a game where you like pass and play, where like like you have a thing and then like the next player gets your paper and gets to mess with it. But I don't really think it's great for
I
like
don't know. That might be interesting.
yeah okay fine. You won me over. Tough decisions.
Eh, I don't want to make tough decisions.
Yeah, and war zones.
Waterlogged.
Yes.
Huh. I don't see how to do that in a board game.
Me
You
either.
tend to
Unless
want to
like
keep those dry.
Rochelle totally said The Office. So yes, we are correct. That was The Office. Um, oh, that would be awful. Like the game that we make for Waterlogged is just that you have to take your favorite board game and throw it in some water and
No,
like
no,
can you do it? Like
no. I fail. I lose. I will lose every time.
yeah, I would lose too.
I'll
Like
throw like a plastic maple in there and be like, I did it. No,
yeah,
very
some like a dry erase thing. Here you go. Stick with a path. That sounds like an uninteresting version of like the only way through. The only way out is through. Like it's like yeah, you're stuck with this path now.
I agree.
Yeah,
And
so,
it's just like you're stuck there. Eh.
yeah, yeah. Like everybody loves to be stuck with the decisions in a game. So make it cozy.
Nah.
I think that's an interesting thing, but yeah, I don't think it's cool as a theme. I think that would be cool to do with like somebody's remaking Doom, but like as
With
a cozy
fluffy
version.
bunnies.
Yeah, exactly. Just something like that. At your own pace is another one of those that doesn't really sound exciting, but
No.
like speed.
Yeah. That one might be fun.
Yeah. Okay.
Because you can even have carnivorous flora and fauna, or you can have, something set collecty or.
Yeah, or like just trying to like balance out the two so that like no
Hmm.
one plant, you know, eradicates the others or something.
Yeah, like a area control type thing, or.
Oh yeah, true. Even like the ones where like you each secretly want one of them to do well, so like
Hmm.
you play
That
it
might
on the
be
cards and
interesting.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. Don't let go.
Eh, that
Yeah,
sounds clingy.
it does sound clingy. We're letting go of don't let go. New beginning. Yeah, and it's
That
okay, but
sounds like a long game.
it does. It's true. Like a campaign game where you're having to start over again.
A new beginning feels like a new leaf. So,
It does.
eh,
Savior.
eh.
Uh, we're our own saviors. We're okay. Like in games and stuff. Colorblind.
That might be interesting, but we'd have to do a lot of research.
Yeah, and I feel like everything should be colorblind friendly anyway. So
Yeah. Set in stone. Nah.
that would be cool if it was combined with the stone is alive or whatever. Like
Fair.
like everything you set in stone becomes alive. So like kind of like a like you create art and it comes to life, but like separately. No,
Hmm. Now you kind of sold me on it.
it only works as a pair. So
Well, you
um,
could. That doesn't mean that you can't use it.
that's true. Organized chaos.
Eh.
That's how I feel about it too.
Chaos sounds stressful.
Unconventional farming sounds hilarious
It
because another
does.
one of those where like of course it'd be like the Flintstones, like but like bringing that to farming, like of course your shower is like a bird dinosaur that like spits water on you, like
Yes.
something like that. So
Or you're farming something preposterous.
oh, that's true too. Like it's what is being farmed is unconventional. I like that. I'm gonna write the unconventional farming as on the notes too. Oh
Not that game.
yeah.
Eh.
It just feels like the like I'm not that girl or whatever, like I'm not that person or whatever.
I don't
So
want to make some meta board game. Like I'm
yeah,
good.
exactly.
Hello. That sounds just as generic as some of the other.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
Everything has consequences.
that's cool.
Elementary.
Yeah,
We'd have to make a Sherlock game.
it's true. You would.
Never ending.
Never ending would be like interesting paired up with the give up, because like the only way it ends is if you give up. Like,
Yeah.
or like we're gonna make the game, the one where like you only like you lose by somebody pointing out that the game is like exists, or however that works exactly.
Oh yeah.
So like you try to avoid people mentioning the game. Never ending is just like right. A single resource.
Hmm.
I think that would be more interesting if like you only have one of the single resource, not like a single. And even honestly, then that game would just be really boring because like
I
you just be
know.
like, I don't want to spend my single resource, so
We're gonna spend 3 days trying to make having one cube interesting.
yeah. And collection's another one of those. It's just kind of like yeah, the set collecting and stuff, but like I
Yeah.
don't really want to make collecting a collection of thing. Making waves is kind of interesting in the like butterfly effecty kind of way,
Yeah, that's true.
but
Like
like
theme wise.
yeah, why not? Okay, stay back. That reminds me of like we were just like I just mentioned with Amanda Panda and Jess playing Boop, because we
Yeah.
watched a video how to play that the other day, and you kind of like basically when you put pieces down, it like pushes the other ones of the opponents away a little bit. It's more in depth than that, but we haven't played it, so we don't know exactly.
I
But
do like the idea of because we were talking about different push and pull things, like in stay back, like you moving has to affect the other person. Like there's a goal to get somewhere, but you always have to be within a certain amount of distance from the other person to do it. Like,
interesting. Dinosaur. Now, if Carla was doing this,
hmm
that would probably be a yes. But drive,
yeah,
yeah, spam, bacon, sausage, and spam. We
that
already had
sounds like
sausage as the
someone was
theme.
hungry.
Yeah, exactly. A trip down memory lane.
Hmm.
We already made clones or hacks of. I went to like
Urban
Japan, Tokyo
Indiana,
once.
and
Yeah, exactly
yeah,
those. So, um,
I think we've gone there enough.
yeah, fatal connections. Eh.
That just reminds me of the one that Rochelle was talking about a little earlier with connecting circuits, but it'd be more like, you get zapped if you do the wrong ones.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a deck builder where like all the things are circuits, but then like you can't connect the wrong ones. Fairies are cool, but I don't think that's a theme.
Green isn't a theme either.
No,
It's a color.
it's another one that if Carla was here, like absolutely yes, but one level.
That would be better for video games than a board
Mhm.
game.
Agreed. Classes, no thanks. Choice and consequences. We already had the other one,
Yeah,
which was more interesting.
that sounds boring too.
Yeah.
We're gonna get through this 900. Let's go.
Yeah, for real.
Power.
Like in like 5 minutes at this rate.
Yeah, like power
One
through.
day. No. Mouse cursor as antagonist. That's
That's it.
hysterical as a video game.
Just put yes, just because if
Yeah, it
like
would be
we'll
cool to
work
see a
it
bunch of
out.
games like that. And yeah, we
Yeah.
could totally make it happen. Like somehow. Rhythm based without the T. I do like the idea of making games that work with music, but like Tales of the Sea. We already had the like piracy and like sailing or something, so I like those more anyway.
Cooperative.
Yeah.
Cooperate. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why there's an apostrophe in there, but like cooperates, that's a general thing anyway. Indirect control is another one of those. I feel like it's been a Ludum Dare theme before or has been close to one several times, but like I'm not a fan of it.
Stop trying to make indirect control happen, whoever you are. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, exactly. Incompatible genres. It's another one of those like where we're just gonna be shoving stuff together. Strength in numbers is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Like horde mode it up where like 6 million of something pile up. Yeah, okay, why not?
Eh.
Yeah, I feel like that could be funny, but not something I'd really want to play. Unstoppable.
Again, that's not something I'd want to do in a board game.
Yeah, and the best of both worlds is
Hmm.
okay, but
Begin
Begin
again.
again is just like the start again. So, or back to the beginning or whatever it was.
Start over.
Start over. Yeah. Pausing has consequences. That would be awesome as a surprise in a video game, but like knowing that it's going to happen, everybody could just not pause.
Fair.
Like, I'm going to say no on that. Macro. No thanks. Organic. No thanks. Turn-based. No thanks. You make the rules. That's funny. Like literally just like print this piece of paper. You can do what you want with it.
Yeah, it'd be like there's this game, but it has none. Like, so you have to figure out what the game is.
Yeah, and it's
That
like
would be
there
funny
are.
to make like a whole elaborate game, and then people be like, "What do you do with this? This is Dallas."
Yeah, exactly. Rochelle and I just talked about that one, or like, no, we talked about that one, and then Rochelle watched our stream. That's what it was, and mentioned it again. But yeah, you make the rules sounds interesting, and I feel like there's actually been games that did that already. But like full force, no thanks. Broken, no thanks. You can't move, no thanks. Be lazy, no thanks. Oh, I'm gonna get rid of that one. So let me flag that one. I'm just gonna quickly get through some of these so that's off the screen. No, we already did bounce of one sort. On the edge is kind of interesting. I'll go and do that. Into the thick of it, sure.
Yeah.
Trapped in code is fun, but no thanks. Rise and fall, more is less. There we go. Now we can go back over some of these if we want to anyway. Oh, one more.
Good.
There we go. You're good at those?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. It's in the cards, or it's all cards, which I mean, we do that a lot of times anyway. And I don't really want to make people print a bunch of cards.
Yeah, that's something that I agree with.
Yeah. Language is I'm gonna say no on that one because like language is cool and it would be fun to even like make up a language, but like I don't really want to make that happen in 2 days either.
We Need a Hero sounds fun.
It does sound fun. It's one of those I want to see like the really terrible reason somebody needs a hero. Like, oh my goodness, I need a hero. Like I can't open this jar.
Yes.
Like I'm just seeing like
why do we always go back to snake oil? But that would be really funny.
Yeah, I don't know either. But like, yeah, it's just like
I just think we enjoy playing that as a family. So it's something that like making silly themed snake oils is always funny. But
it's also really easy to make in the course of like a day or two. And
we want to do better than that.
Yeah, exactly. And they're funny and stuff. So like, yeah. But like, yeah, we need a hero. We can come up with something better than that at least. Trapped.
It just reminds me of that Ryan Reynolds movie that traumatized me.
Oh yeah, like I forgot what that was called too, but yeah, that was terrible.
Trapped, but I don't know, like Buried Alive or something. I don't know.
Yeah, Stuck Together. I like the like Shackled with Your Enemy more than Stuck Together, so I'm just gonna pass on that one. Sway Away.
Huh.
Like we had Stay Away. Now there's Sway Away.
That would be funny if it was the same person that submitted it.
Yeah. Like I can't put the exact same thing twice, so I'm gonna like put this instead too. I'm gonna say no to Sway Away.
I'm gonna say no to Vanity.
Yeah. Everything is awesome.
Yeah, we gotta say yes to that, just so that we can sing that song 1,000 times in our head.
Yes. Bond. Which makes you think of James Bond, which is like I know this might be a controversial take, but we find James Bond really boring. So
for the most part.
Yeah, so I remember liking GoldenEye when I watched it before, but I mean, if I watched it now, I might be bored. I have no idea. But yeah, we tried watching like a couple of the newer ones, that was like 6 or 7 years ago now, so it's not like the new ones. And yeah, it was just like, okay, this isn't over yet.
Slow roll.
Yeah, exactly.
For an action movie.
I'm gonna say no on that. Reversal.
That might be interesting.
Yeah, okay. We did have what was it? Like every action has an opposite thing or whatever. But yeah, I guess reversal is different than that, so let's go. No thanks. That one's not bad enough to like kick off the screen, but like no thanks on that. Miniatures, I don't want to make a miniatures game because like good luck printing those. Yeah. 4 lines is interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know why, and I don't want to explain it, but I think it's interesting.
Yeah, Light the Way is interesting too, because like it feels like it reminds me of the vibe of playing Minecraft, where like you go into the caves or whatever and like
Put
You
down a
have to,
torch.
yeah, you got to throw the court torches everywhere because like otherwise all the monsters can spawn there, and then also you can remember where you've been. But then
Mhm.
like you kind of get lost because like you come into like a pathway where you've already been, and so like now there's torches everywhere. So yeah, I'm gonna go with
Yeah,
that.
I like that idea for the most part, but I feel like the only way that we can portray that is again to make people print a bunch of cards. Because like you could shuffle up a deck and then lay them upside down, and you have no idea, like where you're searching through
That's
something.
true.
That's the idea it gives me, but we want to stay away from decks.
Yeah, exactly. Or at least not too many of them. When we do our snake oil esque games, we use roll tables instead, so that people don't have to print a bunch of cards and stuff like that. Which Rochelle is an expert with roll tables. So I agree. I like the all caps presentation on this one too. It definitely makes it much more like seriously like keep out, which like honestly that alone sells it for me.
Trash
Because
to treasure.
yeah, I love garage sales. I love
And you had always wanted to make that
usability.
dumpster diving like game, so
Yeah, so okay, let's do that. All in one.
eh,
Reminds me of like a Swiss Army knife or something. But
I
like yeah.
agree. Migration might be interesting.
Yeah, and there's already oh what is that? I'm gonna die for not remembering the name of this game. It was another one by the woman who made Wingspan. Um
Rochelle says birds migrate.
in all capital letters too. So like
I don't
obviously
believe you about the roll tables are the best, Rochelle. Sorry.
uh okay, so it's called Mariposas, that's it. Um
Oh, there you go. I was
yeah,
giving you
Elizabeth
time to think, not an
Elizabeth, I appreciate that. Elizabeth Hargrave made a game where it's all about the migration of butterflies from like South America up to like Canada and the US. And it's just really neat concept. But like, so I don't think I'm going to beat that. But there are other things that migrate. Like Rochelle said, birds migrate. So, okay. Nodes are potentially interesting, but like it's not a cool theme itself. This is like the third version of Only Once that we've seen so far. Adventure in a nutshell. That sounds funny, actually.
That does.
And it makes me want to like think of a character that's like really little that like literally uses a nutshell as its armor.
Yeah, it makes me want to make a mint tin game.
Yeah, that's true. That would be cool. I like Comfort and Darkness because it's kind of the opposite of Light the Way.
Hmm.
Oh, Rochelle has played Mariposas. That's fun. Um, I'm glad you liked it. And anybody want a peanut? I know you said would you like a peanut, but I'm changing it. Anybody want a peanut because of Princess Bride? But yeah, I like Comfort and Darkness because it's the opposite of Light the Way. Um, so maybe honestly, it's both at the same time. Like one player wants the light to light the way, and one person likes the comfort of darkness. Like you live in the cave where the adventure is going through. So I'm gonna do that.
Slow it down. I was trying to think of what I could do with that, and nothing's coming to mind.
Yeah, and I feel like Slow It Down Demos could be really cool in a video game.
Yeah, I
But
just
I also feel like it's just gonna lead to a bunch of games about like bullet time. Like
fair.
everybody's just gonna bullet time it up. And like I'm sure there will be some people that do some really cool things with it, but like
Like that whatever Pedro game.
yeah, yeah. My Name is Pedro. That was a cool game. It was bullet time too, but it was so like well done.
Hmm. Everything is bananas. Didn't we have a banana theme? Go
I was,
bananas.
yeah, you're right. Going Bananas was the
We
other
have a
one.
banana like fan in the theme pool, I guess.
I do think the idea of everything being bananas is actually kind of interesting though, because like literally just it'd be like if that episode of The Office where like the desk was wrapped in wrapping paper, but it wasn't actually wrapped. It was literally just like wrapping paper somehow. Like if literally just everything was bananas. Like I mean, would we also be bananas then? It says everything. So
Like
I
so
mean,
the resources are bananas, the meeples are bananas, the board is a banana.
yeah,
Like
exactly. Like it's
everything's
shaped
bananas.
right. I'm going with yes. I don't care. You can figure it out. It's not
You
going to
just
make
like
it
to
anyway, but
watch the world burn sometimes.
I do. Nice. We're lighting the way by like starting the world on fire. Try
Hmm.
again is just like the other one.
Boring.
No battle is. I'm assuming that means like these are
No
like
fighting
peaceful
at all.
or like yeah no confrontation, no
Eh.
battling. But yeah. Hey, it's another one of that exclamation point.
Secrets.
Yeah, I actually like that because like there's that enthusiasm that like
Just reminds you of
yes,
just
secrets. Jack. Yeah, just Jack.
Or like we were watching Mythic Quest, and she always uses the like hands where she's like secrets.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. That's
tiny
awesome.
world.
Yeah, Tiny World's fun. I like that too.
That too.
There'd be another really cool Mint Tinny kind of thing. Insurrection. We're hitting another Trivium song. Insurrection is a great Trivium song. But yeah, I guess I've listened to a lot of Trivium lately. But yeah, Insurrection. I don't think that's enough of a theme.
I don't either.
Yeah. Building and crafting. That's literally my two favorite things, so I have to say yes to this. Sorry.
Okay.
Like
it's all right. No apologies.
If I could play 1,000 games about building and crafting after Ludum Dare, I would just like die a very happy person. Echoes.
I think that's not enough to go on.
I agree.
We will indeed kill this theme. Like meme I always send you where that little kid's standing in front of a like squirt gun and he's all like, shoot me.
Yes, exactly. I just think of like, guess I'll die. Like
parallelism.
I feel like the other versions of this one were cooler sounding. So.
You're shifting landscape. Sounding.
Well, thank you. Shifting landscape is fun.
I agree.
I'll say yes to that. That's the last straw. That's awesome.
I like that one too.
I have to do that.
That's a T, not a theme.
Yes, exactly. More than you think is fun, but like it's not really a theme.
Right.
Yeah, automation. Artificial unintelligence.
Just reminds me of now I'm not going to think of the name of it. Idiocracy.
Oh yeah, that would be perfect. Leave. That sounds like go away, but without the oomph to it. So, and border is just kind of.
You mean the like keep away with the like?
Yeah, that's what it was. The exclamation points.
Yep. Mind over matter.
Yeah. Bigger inside. Somebody has been watching Doctor Who. But no, that's okay. We already had companions or something like that.
But this is a faithful companion.
Yeah, so that removes all the like intrigue of them potentially not being faithful.
Fair. Floor is lava. My niece was actually playing that the other day. She came through. She's like, "Oh no, it's lava." She's 3.
I remember that. That was awesome. That was super cute. And we actually watched the show, The Floor is Lava, on Netflix. Mm-hmm. So, like, it's another one of those. I think it's better as a video game because, like,
right.
Floating islands. I feel like that was a theme of something already. Like, it was a while back, like years ago, but I'll pass on that. Unknown place.
That's kind of a given. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, like everything's an unknown place until you know it.
Side effects.
Yeah, I think that's one of those that could be funny in concept, but like, like all these things have side effects. It's my brain's going party edition again, where like, the very classic, like, would you do this if this also happened? Like, so, like you win $1 million, but this terrible thing happens. So, yeah, out of control. We already had like holding on the control or something. So.
That would be funny to do, like the opposite of area control, though. Like you had to be as spread out as possible.
Oh, that's interesting. You're right. So, like, you actually don't want to control things, like you're the puppeteer behind things, but you don't actually want it to be known you're in control, or like, well, I guess it's still in control. But like I know what you mean.
Dispersal system rather than like you don't want things to be contained. You want them spread. Like
yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so I'll give that a go. That's cool. Shelters,
kind of like a reverse pandemic, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that makes sense. Like you're trying to do that, but like not in the same area.
Yeah, like you're driving the monkey to the airport. Like
right, not just driving it around town. Like you want it everywhere, not just there. Take a closer look. I think that's a cool thing for video games. Like I was just playing. I think it's called the Hidden People, Hidden something like that. It's really cute little, like it's it's black and white, but like it's basically Where's Waldo, but like they give you clues for where the people are or the things are that you're looking for, and so you have to zoom in, and like a lot of times you have to like interact with things to make it happen. So like you can chop down trees, or you can like like close doors or open doors or whatever to make things happen. So like there's a lot of that, and I think that's cool, but I definitely don't see doing that in a tabletop game. Non-linear. Oh, is today the day that show came out, or was that tomorrow?
Kaleidoscope one?
Yeah.
That's, I think tomorrow or January 1st. It's one or the other.
Okay. Yeah, we definitely need to watch that, because that seems like a really cool use of non-linear. If you're not familiar with it, Kaleidoscope is this series. I think it's on Netflix. Is that right?
It's going to be, yeah.
Yeah, okay. It's going to be on Netflix. But basically, it's a story that's not told in an order. And when you go to watch it, the order of the episodes is randomized. So in theory, depending on the order that you're seeing these things, you actually get a different take on the story. It feels different. Maybe you root for a different character than you would if it was told in a different way. I'm not sure. But we're really interested in seeing it. It's just really cool to see things done differently. And
I guess the whole premise of it is that a crew attempts an elaborate heist.
Okay.
Billions of dollars. So it's just kind of the different viewpoints from them. And I think each of the episodes are named after a color. So then you can say, well, I saw this color episode and talk with people about it or whatever. But it's kind of like not able to spoil it because you're really not being given the, episodes in the same order. It's just
that makes sense. So you're gonna have a different context each time or whatever than like somebody else would anyway. We should do that on the Weird Raptor server then. Like we have the book club, we should do a Kaleidoscope club. Yeah, very cool. But I do like non-linear. I know that's a really single like worded like theme, but I like non-linear.
Okay.
Death begets life.
That just reminds me of the people that want to be buried as like a tree. Like they get to have a tree grow around them. I don't know. It just seems
that's true. That's an interesting concept.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll go with that then. Keep it up.
You
Thanks.
keep it.
Theme. Yeah. Let's see. I don't know.
I feel like that would be a really redundant game.
Very true. Like everybody's just trying to keep it up with all the games.
Ancient's too generic.
Yeah. So is Fire.
So is Fire.
So is Survive. So is Still Alive could be interesting. Like, the horror-esque theme of like, like how is this thing still alive? Like what's going on? But
it feels more like this is fine.
Yeah, it's still alive. Whatever. Almost new. Sounds like another snake oil game.
It does. Like, hey, it will not break.
Yes. Oh, it broke. Lost. It just makes me think of the TV show.
It does me too.
Mirror with 3 R's.
Mirror.
Yes. I'm gonna say no to that though. Oh, definitely no on that.
Behold your doom. Just because that's funny.
Yes.
Just reminds me, I am the Dread Pirate Roberts.
Yes, I like that one actually though.
Survivals.
It's very like this is how you're gonna die. So maybe that's what that one is. The whole like back in the day like mythology and stuff where like prophecies are foretold and like the whole Oedipus thing or whatever. Like your son will murder you and then marry like his mother. So you try to avoid that as much as possible. So you've seen your doom and you're trying to avoid it. Or like maybe the other player knows how you die and wants you to die before they do. So they're trying to create this set of circumstances out there that would make it happen.
Some kind of push your luck thing.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. I like that. That's cool. AI taking over everything. Yeah. Until it done.
Feels like the sentence wasn't done.
Yeah. Come together.
Right now.
Thanks for sharing your website. Please visit here on my website.
Okay.
Why do I want to make a game on that?
Say yes. Do it.
Okay. We have officially said yes to that. So if it wins, there is
we were a part of it. We were
part of it. Yep.
We did this thing. We're sorry. We're sorry in advance.
It's funny that thanks for sharing your website. Please visit here on my website. Comes right before web.
Yeah.
And the big spider's still on the screen. So never again. That reminds me of those games where like you can do something, but you can never do that same thing again.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, okay, why not? Greed is good. That's kind of a given in most tabletop games. Like you want all the things, not like
Tortoise Rampage. I want it. I want angry little turtles
yeah.
on the warpath.
In nutshells. There you go.
Yes.
Pick up everything. That's my game. Yep. You get Tortoise Rampage, I get pick up everything.
I just feel like that needs to be a tagline for a game where you're just discussing something and just trust is earned. Slam down your cards and walk away.
Yeah.
Flip the table.
I just feel like that's like when like you're playing Monopoly or just any game really, but like especially with Monopoly because it's such a long game and somebody's got to go to the bathroom or like answer the door or whatever, and the other player is just like, oh, it's fine, like we'll just wait till you get back. And so like it's like, no, trust is earned. Like you don't
I
earn this.
still do not trust my cousin and my sister who cheated in Monopoly on New Year's Eve when I went to the bathroom and they took the money. So yeah,
That's awesome.
dirty
Well,
cheating whores.
indeed, like no thanks on that. Trust is earned. Oh, I meant to say yes on that. Trust is earned. Yes. Righteous hatred.
Yeah,
I think all hatred is righteous to the person that is hatred or that has a hatred. I didn't mean literally. I think that's hysterical.
I agree.
Conservation is cool, but set your own goals is interesting, but not really new for tabletop. Like,
Right.
so
So
power
it just
down.
feels like calling your how many tricks you're gonna take or something.
Yeah, I think that would be really funny too. Like set your own goals, like in the very last turn of the game. Like you just look at what you've done. And it's like, my goal is to have the most cards
Blue.
in front of me. Yeah, exactly, the most blue. So
I have
yeah,
the most blue meeples. I win.
yeah, that actually would be kind of interesting. Like as a game, like if you could literally like you start the game and you literally pick whatever goal you want, like just like that. Like my cards have the most blue on them versus yours. Like if you combined all the blue on mine, it's more than the blue on yours. So then like the whole game you're trying to like stop them from getting the most blue. But like it just feels like one of those like people pick on that where the fun is in the player's hands, not the game itself. Like the game isn't fun, people make it fun. So I don't like that for
Right.
that either. Yeah, nope is funny, but I'm all right. You animal. No thanks. Who turned out the lights? That sounds like a murder mystery, but the person who was gonna do the murder didn't murder somebody in time because somebody flipped the lights right back on.
That's
And
funny.
so like it's a would-be murder mystery instead.
I was told a story when I was a kid. They took me to the movie theater, and that's the first thing I said when it's like, "Hey, who turned out the lights?"
That's awesome. I love Ghost of Ludum Dare 53 because this is Ludum Dare 52.
Oh,
This would
that's
be a
interesting.
game about the future of Ludum Dare somehow.
It's so meta.
Maybe like whatever we create this time around, like somehow changes the
Yeah, but
course of
what if you
history.
got
And
this theme? What would you do actually?
what would I actually do with it?
Yeah. Sit there and stare at it and be like, what kind of game do we need to do? And I hate myself for voting for this.
Honestly, what I would do is another snake oil game where you are somehow causing a catastrophe in the future. So
Oh,
yeah,
that
I don't
sounds
need to make
interesting.
another Let them or another
Yeah,
snake oil game though.
exactly.
The whole point of this is to do for anyone who hasn't done Let 'em Dare. One of the big parts of Let 'em Dare that makes it really cool is that because it's such a confined amount of time, it's very encouraging to try something different because like you're out 2 days if you failed, whatever, like, but you tried then, like, so that's cool. The last thing you want to do is try something you've already done. So,
Right, and
opposites.
we want to do something that isn't going to be like a big print and play because people just won't play it then, and then we really won't even be in the running for anything,
Yeah.
of being seen for, the games. People just won't play them; they'll skip it.
Yeah, a lot of the Let 'em Dare games are well, I'd say probably like half of them or so are the kind you have to download. But even if you download a game, like, you download it and then you double click it and boom, the game started. The other half are like literally just here's the game in a browser, play it. And like, you can read if you want to, especially since a lot of times there's notes, like people don't have enough time to fit the rules and stuff, instructions in the game itself. So you just read that from the instructions and boom, you can play it. So the last thing anybody wants to do is like print off like 8 to 10 sheets of paper, read a bunch of rules, like make like laminate or like sleeve things. So yeah, we try to avoid that as much as possible. Run It Back. I think that'd be interesting because it's basically the demake thing, except that like it's guaranteed to do both. Like you're making it and then you're running it back.
True.
But at the same time, that sounds like something you need quite a few components for, and so I'm gonna say no on it. Plus, I know Run It Back is going to be a lot of people trying to do the I hate that I can't think of it. Braid, the video game Braid, where like basically it was a platforming game, and you could rewind time. So you'd like you'd play or whatever, and then you rewind time, and then that would allow you to do something you couldn't do normally. So I feel like we're going to get a bunch of those games out of it. Platforming horror, no thanks. More for the horror than the platforming, because I'm all for trying to make a platforming game in a tabletop form, but shallower and shallower. That reminds me of the movie you were just talking about a while ago too. The one where like they made or they used Gatorade as the water for the plants, and that's what got that. Yeah, it reminds me of Idiocracy too. But like instead of like stupidity, it's just like shallowness. So change is good. Yes, it is. Cards. Well, nope. Greed. We already had greed is good and said no to that. So combine to grow.
I like that.
Yeah, that sounds like it'd be interesting. The house always wins. I like that one too.
Me too.
Heaven is extremely generic.
Nah.
Yeah, I like to destroy everything a lot more than every last one. Only 2D games. I mean, it's going to be 2D because it's on paper or whatever. So you can't save them all. That's it reminds me of we were watching No Rolls Barred, their YouTube channel. They play like games and stuff together. They're really hysterical to watch. But they played the trolley game like a while back, and we watched that. That was hysterical because it's basically like the trolley problem where like, trolley has to go one way or the other, and there's two teams, and so like you're putting different things on both sides of that to try to make the conductor choose the other path.
That was hilarious too.
Yeah, so that's all I can think of with you can't save them all is just that. But I don't know. It could be interesting.
Yeah, we could do something different. You never know.
Yeah, Not Enough for Everyone is very similar, but slightly different. So I'll just do it
because we like the movie.
Yeah, I was just thinking like you could do all kinds of stuff with that. Like everyone has the same name, Michael Bolton, or like you have to destroy the printer, or you need all your pieces of flair. So yeah,
glitch in the machine.
I think that'd be cool for video games where like you don't know what the glitch is or something, and you're trying to figure that out. But like, yeah, wrong place. Help me! This is not a theme. Again, I really want to be
I'm
like, yes.
For the person that wrote this, like, are they okay?
Yeah. Are they coming to grips with the fact that they're not a theme themselves? Like,
no, it's just like, this isn't a theme. I need help. Okay, where are you? We can't help you. Should have put your phone number so I could reach out.
Yeah. Unlucky ... Somebody like really meant it. But I'm gonna say no.
Like maybe unlucky. Yeah.
We already had like destroy all the things or something. So many structures, no thanks. Big drop.
You know how I like those. Ugh.
I don't want to.
I don't want to either.
Yeah. Flight. Yeah. Final Destination.
That just gives me like flashbacks of the logs falling off the truck and never wanting to drive behind semi like
yikes
with flatbeds.
I always think of the scene in the shower where like
that wire one. That's the worst.
The slippery floor. Yeah.
That gives me anxiety.
Like, me too. Oh, there's emojis. I have to say yes. Not really. I'm gonna say no. Yeah, I know. Dynamic mechanics sounds like. Well, I mean, it kind of like rhymes and it's got a cool flow to it. But
yeah, let's go for that.
Okay. It keeps growing.
That sounds pervy.
It does sound really bad. Lush, also like really generic, like chaotic good. I like that.
I do too.
That's always like one of my favorite like alignments anyway. So
yeah, like one of the funniest compliments I ever got was, it's good that you use your powers for good and not evil,
Yes, that's awesome. Exactly that. Harvest is like, I love Stardew Valley and stuff, but no thanks. Spooky Holiday.
That's just that person with the Halloween wanting to do it again.
Yeah, but no emojis this time. Turn over a new leaf. I actually have a game I want to make that's like we play in leaf piles, but I'm all right.
I'm going to mute my mic until someone isn't opening cans in our kitchen.
Okay, that's fair. Make space. I'm going to pass on that one. Dream, Chopper Mission is so specific.
Get through the top off.
Yes, exactly. Invincibility is theoretically interesting if it's one of those like you're invincible but nobody else is and you're trying to save them, but like that's really specific. Winter ends. I think we all want winter to end. I know Rochelle for sure, at least definitely does, and I'm sick of it already too. Like it'd be nice to go for walks again. So no, video games. Okay, so how? First of all, this person should have put Vidya games with the GAEMS, but that's all right. Follow the leader is interesting-ish, but not really. It's about time. Multiple in, one out. That reminds me, we play tested a game called Factory 42, and it's this interesting. It was like kind of like the like Soviet era, like, but you're mining and you're dwarves instead, and it was really interesting in that like you get these resources and you put them into this dice tower where they might fall out, but there's several different things blocking them. So it's very possible that the resources that go in it aren't going to come out, or like maybe they'll come out in a round or two and not right now. But part of it is that you actually spend to get those resources to put in there. So you might like really need one thing. And so, you know, if you only buy one, it might not come out, but if you buy 5 of them, it's going to cost you a lot, but then you're guaranteed pretty much to get it. So I actually like multiple in, one out. I'm going to take that. We're definitely not making a dice tower for it, but Lost in Time is cool. Sure. Truth is key. That sounds like what Baba is you. Like truth is key. And then you change like truth to like.
Oh, I like that idea.
Yeah. Like truth is like something else is key. So there you go. Take care of your offspring. That sounds dark because all I can think of is like you have way too many offspring. And so it's kind of like the one a bit ago. Like you can't
save them all.
Yeah, you can't save them all, or you can't like there was another one that was like basically you can't give all the resources to everybody. So I'm gonna say no just because of that. We already had like generational or whatever. So generations, I think is what it was. Back and forth is.
I feel like we've gotten that the better wording too.
Yeah, and like literally that's how most tabletop games work. Engine building is a genre again. Blue skies generally are blue. That's true. Snowmen is okay, but like not really a game thing. Split brain again sounds like that show we were just watching, Severance.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like that's okay, but we had the other one that was better. So. Words have power, 100% always. Yep. Left and right, no thanks. Point of view, like just reminds me of point of view gun.
Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Yeah, thank you. So I will say yes to that. All in is just like the all or nothing. It's getting hotter. Meerkat apocalypse. Yes. I was like, just for the like uniqueness
Creativity,
of that one.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, we'd go to the zoo a lot. Lincoln Park? Is that what it's called? No, not that's the band. Brooklyn Park Zoo in Chicago, and there were meerkats there, and we found out one day by accident that if you have a gum wrapper, because it's shiny, like the outside of it, and you like lifted it up, they'll all look at it. It was really dark in there, so I guess it was just enough light to catch off of that. And so like all these meerkat would just be standing up, like staring at this like the gum wrapper or whatever. We'd move it. And it was funny though, because I guess other people must have figured it out too, because after like a year or two of going there, like they didn't care anymore. None of them would look, didn't matter. So maybe they got sick of all the gum wrapper stuff and they started a meerkat apocalypse. So you need to eat it. So this sounds exactly like a Ludum Dare theme, because like a lot of times it's all like, you know, you must do this, you have to this or whatever. So you need to eat it sounds 100% like it would be a Ludum Dare theme.
Kid with the sloppy joes where he's like, it's poop. See? Yeah. No, it's poop.
Yes, that was awesome. I'm actually going to say yes to this just because I think that could be funny. One button controls everything is literally just one button games. We were talking about that. Fool AI. I thought it was food AI at first.
Why does you need to eat it remind me of the Six Nixit? Was that the name of it we were playing?
Six Nimmt, yeah.
Yeah, Nimmt.
That's true. Like where like if you finish the row, you have to eat it.
Eat all the cards, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Fool AI sounds interesting, but like not really for a tabletop game. Old games, just Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Making connections has already been done a lot. Surface, nope. Attack on the capital, no thanks.
Yeah, no thanks.
Ignorance, we don't need more of that. Make peace, not war. We already
Yeah.
had like no battle or whatever. So return the sender could be interesting.
That would be funny to like, but then it just reminds me of the not Tiny Toons, but the cartoons where they pass the bomb back and forth. Like, no,
Oh
we need to
yeah, that's
potato.
true. I was thinking it kind of reminded me of Nottingham Forest. Is that what it's called? Sheriff of Nottingham. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh,
The
okay, yeah.
Where like people can you can inspect somebody's stuff or not. Whatever it takes. Sushi, inside, reputation, double meaning. Like there's a lot of these that are just like nah right away.
You're just excited because the blue is almost to the halfway point. No.
That's true. Movement, yeah, that happens. Trade, trading in the Mediterranean. Rebellion.
Hmm.
If it works, break it. That is fun.
Yeah, that's intriguing.
Keep it contained is also interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know about that as a game. But yeah, whatever. No chance.
Eh.
Conversion. Deep dream. Bread survival.
What? Do you survive on bread, or are you trying to get the bread to survive?
Yeah, I'm thinking it's like you have the last like bread in existence, or you're the only one that knows how to make bread somehow. So like if you die, like bread dies with you or something. I don't know.
You know those sourdough bread like starters like you have to grow.
Oh yeah, there you go.
There you go.
Combine incompatible genres. I've already seen this a few times. Incomplete powers. So that'd be like you can fly, but like you can't actually get off the ground or something. I don't know. Or you can't land, just something like that. I don't know. That sounds funny, but like not like something I'd actually want to make. Bridge the gap. Unexpected relationships.
Rochelle's right. Bread is trying to survive the hungry humans, which is fair because bread is tasty.
Rise to the occasion. It's the least you can do. Oh my goodness, that's
Oh, it's
spectacular.
so punny I could die.
Yes. Unexpected relationships is interesting, but not enough. Inertia. It snows.
It does snow. We don't care.
Yeah. Slogan. I love that it's not like
A slogan, it just
right.
is like insert slogan here.
And I like death begets life a lot more than life after death. Keep it down. Some
You
like
keep
librarians up in here, like y'all are throwing too many like themes in here. The other side. Geared up. Moon. Geez, there's a lot of no's here. Catastrophe. Patience is key. I don't really want to be patient in games though, like especially not 1,000 times, like
I don't know
retro
what
wave style.
wave
Yeah,
is.
I'm Googling it.
I just was about to do the same thing.
Oh, okay. It brought up synthwave when I searched for retro wave.
What is synthwave? A musical subgenre. Okay.
Yeah, but it's also like that kind of artistic style, like Miami Vice or like
Oh, okay.
it's almost like a techno version of that though. Like it's the really kind of colorful stuff like I don't know. It's
We basically
interesting.
draw lines through things that shouldn't have lines on them, or
Yeah, or make it really colorful, but also like
muted.
Like if you remember the Lawnmower Man, like
I wasn't allowed to watch that when I was little. They wouldn't.
Yeah, but did you ever see like the poster or anything?
I think I remember a screaming dude.
Like, yeah, it's basically that, like that weird VR.
Okay.
Or 3D-ness, but like with more color to it.
Okay.
Like neonish. The longer you wait, the worse it is. I'm cool with that because like I think that'd be interesting. Like trying to like bide your time to do something, but also like the longer you take doing that, like the worse.
Another push your luck.
Yes. Last one standing. We're not going to make a battle royale game. Damaged. Spoilage.
Depressing.
Yeah. Spoilage might be interesting, but like, unable to blank. I don't want my theme to have a blank in it.
Me neither.
Decay, exploration. I love exploration, but like
I have to say though, if it does have a blank, a lot of people could fill in that blank and you'd have a whole lot of different games.
That's true. Or maybe that's like unable to spacebar. Like
fair.
I'll say yes to unable to. That's fine. Extreme, like wormhole extreme.
Yes.
Very close. No weapons. Prioritize. A magic button.
Yeah, I want the magic button.
Yeah. Okay. The flip side.
Hmm. Kind of thinking I might like that one.
Okay. Let's go. Kind of like mirror-esque stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
And it could even be, some kind of flip and right.
true. That'd be interesting. Like you can use one or the other side of it, but not both. Kind of like Legacies of
Ooh,
or James yesterday.
that would be really cool to do a flip and right, but like you have two different color sides of the paper and two different colored sides of like cards, and you're filling out both sides, but like it depends on which side you're picking to which side you get to fill out that shape for.
Okay, I like that. I wrote that down. That'd be interesting, like to play with. Red and blue would be much better if it was pink and blue. Pink and blue. So, no thanks. Under the surface.
Yeah.
Terminal. I like that could at least mean either version of terminal, like something's dying or you're at a terminal. But like, yeah, it's really generic. Extraction. Mirrors. Dreams. Fictional physical phenomena.
That's too complex.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure what's even meant by that. Like a fictional physical phenomena. Would that be like your what was that? Idle hands, like where your hand just comes to life and like starts like acting on its own, or like something made up, basically that is also physical. Unnatural. Evolution in a different light. Nah. You. Like the theme is you.
Baba is you.
Yes. And theme is you also. Another dimension. We already had like the Between Worlds and stuff. There's actually already a really cool pinball game, this tabletop game, so I'm not going to try to do that, especially not in 2 days. Hooky. Combined powers makes me think of like a cooperative game where like, but then like that's always the problem with those things too. Like, oh cool, we're the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. All we have to do is literally put our powers together every single time and we'll win. So like nothing. The distant future of 2023, which is funny because 2023 will be in the present when this starts. So I guess that would be interesting though, because it'd be kind of like if 1984 were written in 1984. So like you're creating this fictional future, but in the year it's already happening. I like that. I'm taking it. Better left alone.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. I feel like that's another one that'd be cool as like a video game, maybe, but not.
Like don't poke the bear.
Yeah, exactly. Like, do not do this thing, or else. Weather the storm. We already had like the passing storm, or survive the storm, or like through the storm. So, say no on that.
Yeah, there's already a game called.
Yeah, yeah. Can't stop's already great enough. We don't need don't stop now. I wonder if the same person that submitted hell also submitted heaven, because like those were both there. We already had like a less is more in a different way. Polarity. We already had the whatchamacallit in the chamber.
That could be interesting.
Yeah, I was just thinking that could be anything from like being stuck in a room to like, literally a bullet in a chamber, or like even just the threat of a bullet in a chamber, like, like something is chambered, it's ready to go, like be careful.
Or even like if you're making your way through a board and there is several chambers, so there's stuff that if you're in the chamber, it doesn't affect you if you are.
Oh, that's true. Or like something is in the chamber, look out. Like it could be 1,000 different things. That's cool. Okay. Retro is very like diagonals only. I feel like that would be like making a game out of like when you have the like bouncing icon with like the DVD players, like and you're waiting for it to get exactly in the corner.
I'm like, let's not do that to ourselves.
No. Keep it on a leash. Which I'm just thinking of like Korn's Freak on a Leash now. But I feel like we had one already that was all like keep it under control or something. So lower losses. I don't know if that's a typo and they mean like the lower like the lower score loses, which would just be a given, or if that means like you're supposed to reduce your losses. But either way, I'm like, It forms a triangle. That's funny. It just reminds me of like it's cake.
Yes.
Like
And
everything in the world is just going to be triangles now. Like if you line this up just right, that's a triangle. Oh my goodness. Let it grow. We already had like it keeps growing or something like that. It ends here is epic, but not really like do the opposite. I feel like that could be an interesting game if it was like 3 or more players, where like whenever you did something, another player had to do the opposite. But we've seen that in 2-player games where like, okay, if I gain resources, then you have to lose a resource, and then on your turn you'll be like, okay, well I just lost this resource, so I'll gain the resource, and you have to lose, and you just do the exact same thing back and forth like forever. So that's not fun for a 2-player game, or certainly not solo. But like, Armageddon, good movie. No thanks though. Central resource.
I like the idea of like having like a certain amount of cards and then it like those get taken away. Like so they are central but you get to take them. I don't know.
That's true, and it could be anything. Could be the resource. So that's fair. Biodiversity is like the balance thing. Beefy AI. Planning ahead. Apart. Historical. Like, oh my goodness, there's so many of these that are just like very easy to slaughter. I'm seeing how this works now. Doesn't stop. We already had don't stop. Now we have doesn't stop. 3-act structure. We don't need that one though. Energy is limited, feels a lot like central resource or like things like that. Hidden treasures is not as cool as junk, like trash or treasure or whatever. Nothing lasts forever. Sacrifice, you proceed.
Sacrifice.
I feel like they mean like sanctify or like,
Oh,
I don't know.
okay.
I'm looking that up though. Sacrifice means to offer a sacrifice.
Oh,
So
okay.
basically, like sacrifice something to proceed, which feels to me like a darker version of the like leave it behind.
Yeah, I fair
So
on that.
more than one way. That's
At least
a
I didn't
given.
say skin a cat because like who wants to skin a cat?
Right, exactly. Like this. No, please don't do this thing. Too big to handle. Somebody thinks a lot of themselves. It's coming for you. Um, I get that would be kind of cool, like if there's something chasing you, but like, it means a lot of like making sure to control those things when it's not your turn too. And yeah, we're halfway there, over halfway there. You're
Yay.
right, Rochelle. We are definitely not making the time though because like we have to stop by like 7:30 or so, and like yeah.
You can
Although
just
at this
start
rate, it's just gonna be like no, no,
slaughtering
no, no, no.
it.
Yeah, exactly. We'll just keep slaughtering everything. Privilege, no. Last human, eh. In
We'll
fact, I'm
talk
just gonna
about
like
like every 5.
yeah, that's cool. If something interesting comes up, or if you want to say something, go for it. But I'm just gonna basically say no or yes on things unless it's really interesting. Time is relative. Like, yeah, that could be fun. 2 at once just means everything's doubled. So, break the rule is kind of a given. Nothing left to take away. Just watch does not sound interesting. Like a fun thing.
Chicken.
Chicken is a bird.
Chicken. Yeah.
Get out of Groundhog Day is interesting, but not something I'd want to do in 2 days.
Yeah.
Do not fall. Well, we don't have to worry about falling because it's a tabletop game. Parts or components are required for a tabletop game. So you are the engineer. Engineer. It just makes it sound like you're engineering your gender to me. So, like, I mean, I guess I've already done that. So,
Been there,
like,
done that.
yeah, exactly. Not this again. Yeah, okay.
I like that.
I don't even know what that is. I don't even
have to
think that's a
Google
thing.
Fahu.
Yeah, you might not even want to know the answer to that. Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah, fair. And I just said it out loud. So
Oh
I was
no,
like,
it's fine. I'm sure whatever. But
I guess it's a rune.
yeah, okay.
Fahu is a reminder for us to act out of the present moment.
Huh. Act out of the present moment, so like not in the present.
I guess that's what it says. The conscious use of money for right ends. I don't know what that is. Like, but yeah, it's a rune.
That's a lot more interesting than I thought then. But like, I'll still pass on it. Too many requests. It feels like my customer service job already. So
That would
no,
be funny to do like a overloaded real time thing, but I don't know.
that would be funny. I agree. Um, I'm actually gonna like go hit the washroom up again because hey, have a great night, Rochelle. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate it. But yeah, I'm gonna go hit the washroom up one more time. So I'll be right back.
Okay.
I'll take us back off the screen.
Okay.
Okay, and we're back again. Bind and release to me just sounds like Pokemon. Like you're capturing them and then you let them go to attack or something. I get that it would also be more like preservationist in general, but like it's not really a game I want to play 1,000 of. You know what I mean? Like Life in the Mud, Animal Helper is makes me think of like Beastmaster with the like ferrets and stuff as friends. So yeah, I'll go ahead and approve that one. Predict the future. We actually made a game kind of like that. Magic D8. Rock until you're finally dead. I love that so much. I am definitely a metalhead, and rock is definitely a way to live. So I would definitely say yes on that. Plus, it reminds me of I cannot remember the name of the game, but it was a video game with Jack Black in it, where he played a roadie who was like sucked into another world, and so he was trying to like save people there. Rodents. I'm actually making a game with
Brutal
rodents.
Legends.
Brutal Legend. That's it. Yeah. Um, we had a game exchange, myself and Rachel. Uh, we were going to make a game for each other for Christmas, and she made a cool one for me, but I have not made mine for her yet. But it's basically the ask from her was that I make something with her pet rats in it. So rodents is already covered by that. Build from nothing is cool. Like I'd like to play a lot of those, but I don't want to play a lot of those that were made in 2 days. We already have the ghost of Ludum Dare 53, and now there's ghosts from the past too. Did we say yes to? I think I said no to Ghost of Ludum Dare 53 because of the like like what would you make with it then? So like I think I'll say no
I
to this.
think you still said yes,
Oh, did
but
I?
I don't know.
I want to say yes to Ghosts Past too. What your mom would play. I like that. That's cool.
Yeah, I do too. It's wholesome.
Yeah. And it means like, really like that gateway game-ish kind of like, this is something that's cool, but also like something that somebody who
Right.
doesn't normally play games would play. Farming is cool, but like not really as a theme. Your
And
turn.
that's kind of a given.
Why are my hands suddenly meerkats? Is
That would be
legitimately.
funnier as a video game, but that's hilarious.
Oh, I see. That's where you got Brutal Legend from. Thank you for sharing
No,
that.
I actually came up
Oh, you
with
looked it
it
up too?
before I read it, but like I appreciated that it was said.
Yay, thank you. That's awesome. Yeah, why are my hands suddenly meerkats is too amazing, but at the same time, I don't ever see making a game about that. So, unless it was just like something very silly, like why is whatever, like
Yeah, that's what I thought. Like if it wasn't just stuck to that.
yeah. I had this one spoiled because somebody posted it in the Ludum Dare Discord, but like this theme is literally just a snowman emoji.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah, it's a snowman emoji. Somebody had it zoomed in on it. Like, yeah, it's snowman emoji.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah, I zoomed in on the screen here too, but yeah. And it was like a little snow above it, like wee.
Oh yeah, it's like throwing it like confetti. Like boom, it's snow.
Yes, exactly. I love that. I'm gonna vote yes for that, even though it absolutely shouldn't be one. You only live once. That's fair. Forget what you just saw. That sounds interesting.
It does.
That actually sounds a lot like your like rebuild the polyominoes too. Like that could be a
Hmm.
theme of that. Like, you're trying to take that thing and then bury it. Like that's not what you saw. You saw this other thing instead. So
Hmm.
like
Or
yes,
like
forget.
even the like not being able to see the things like that.
Oh, true. Yeah, like that's a good point. Pink
Well,
fluffy unicorns dancing on rainbows. There's no way I'm saying no to that.
well, that is cheery
Yes, it
AF.
is. Yes, and colorful. Our Beth and Angel Makes Games logo actually has rainbows on the side of it, so like I'm all for it. It's funny because like after a little bit, like my brain just immediately started to want to slaughter all the single word themes, but supermarket is actually I like that. All I could think is like supermarket sweep.
I
So
was thinking that too.
yes. Space is limited. Actually, it's funny because like we'd seen a couple other ones similar to only one, but this is like it's not like you have one. There just is only one. So maybe somehow like you're battling over this one thing. But honestly, really what it makes you think of is like the first player marker in games where like, if you get the first player marker, then you're first. So that's not really as cool as I would have thought anyway. Fall, no change. Um, that's a cool, like, it's always nice to have that in games where like, you don't get changed back on if you're spending a bigger resource, but not really a theme. Music is your enemy. Oh, that's interesting. Because normally I make games where like music is your friend, if anything, or like, around music or stuff, but music is your enemy is very different.
Hmm. I was trying to think how you would like do that.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know how you do that in a tabletop though, because like it makes sense in a video game where like there's always potentially background music and stuff.
That would be interesting to do a random shuffle of music and like whatever came up was your enemy, but you had to draw it out of the song somehow. Like and build the
Oh,
enemy. So it's kind of like a instead of a generator for like a character generator, it'd be an enemy generator through music.
I like that, and I made a note of it. Okay, not the same as it was, which again is your idea. So I just like to kind of build toward that. I'm cool with that. Paranormal, no second chances. Just kind of like the only live once. Tick. I,
Tick
I,
boom.
yeah, I was like, now I want the next one to be tick again, and then boom. So
I
uh,
know.
connect them all. I
Mm.
kind of like that as far as like a roller rate goes, where like you're sharing a board and like, but there have been games that do that better already. Like the last person to connect the things is the one that gets the points or something. So you're trying to make it to where the next player can't possibly connect them either.
Mhm.
But like, yeah, I feel like that would take a lot of balance. We're not going to get in 2 days, and even if we did, there are games that exist that are better. Monks. Build Team sounds another one of those like party games where like you have to somehow put together like the most ridiculous people in the one thing. But like
I was thinking about the I keep wanting to say Bioshock, and it's not what I mean. The Fallout shelter, where you have to recruit your meeples before you can place them and stuff. So that's what I think of with Build a Team.
sure, one of each. It's interesting too because like maybe you only have one of each, and so like you have to use them in combinations. I don't know.
Or you gather one of each. I don't know. That sounds kind of
Yeah,
generic.
symmetry, black and white. I almost want black and white to win just because it'd be easier art wise, but high up, no thanks. Where to watch One Piece film free online.
Yeah, we don't have to vote that one. We're okay.
Yeah, I'll flag it because like we don't even watch One Piece. So, but like, yeah, I understand it's funny. It's a joke, but like, it's not actually a theme. Mix and match. That makes me want to do like a bag builder, but like, not really. Travel. Yeah, travel's cool. We already had like use it again. So recycle. Billionaire buys game studio.
Sounds like a headline.
It does. It also sounds like somebody like is worried that Elon Musk is going to buy like a big game studio after he bought Twitter or something. It sounds funny, but like it's not a game theme. Survival of the fittest. Yeah. Expand. That just I always go back to that one. The like lady that had to build a house and she was going to die whenever she stopped adding on to her house. It just reminds me of that. Or like they have I forget, it was like Lemonade Tycoon. Is that what it is? Like where like you start off with a lemonade stand and it's an idle game and then like you keep going on and on until like you're buying things on other planets and like all kinds of stuff. So,
oh my goodness, that's funny.
Yeah, it's awesome. But I'm gonna say no on that. Actually, I'm gonna say yes on that because I like that stuff anyway. There was already like there's always two, and there's already a mere catastrophe too. Whatever, I'm gonna say yes to both of them in case somebody else voted the other one up and then the other one down, so that way like they don't, combat each other for all the votes. Fight the physics. That would be really cool in a video game, but like not tabletop. On the other side, we already saw one just like that. Bigger and louder. That sounds like a fun party game. Close but not too close. That sounds like they'll like stay away or like whatever that one was. Feel the Rhythm just reminds me of Cool Runnings.
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. Enjoy it while you can. That just sounds like good life advice. I could see making a game out of it though. Yeah, exactly. Decisions. We already saw stuff like that. Size does not matter. I thought one of them was like everything's the wrong size or something like that.
Which is much more interesting.
Yeah. It works on my device. That's funny. That sounds like what people say when like a game has a bug, like after Ludum Dare. It keeps you turning is interesting. The machine that keeps us going. That's interesting too. Okay. Control your emotions is like what I try to do like 80% of my life. So that's certainly fair, but I don't know if it's a game idea. Plan and execution just sounds like when the genre of games or the mechanism where like you play the card and then everybody flips it over or whatever. So recycling, we already have them like that. Mushroom. After the game ends is funny. I would like to see how people like interpret that in Ludum Dare. Like, the post-credit scene version of Ludum Dare, basically. But then that means you have to make enough to where like you're making something, the game ends, and you have to keep making more. So that'd be tricky too. Randomness is in everything. The party don't stop. I like bartering, but it's not really a theme. Actually, out of order might be interesting because like you play your cards, but then they have to be done like in specific order that it isn't necessarily what you wanted. So yeah, out of order. Unconventional hot cocoa. I liked unconventional farming a lot more. Martin Luther King Jr. J Jamboree. That's fun. But no, not really a theme. Failure is not the end. That's like the roguelike stuff. Pride. I like Pride, but I'm not really gonna. One-way traffic. This reminds me of like trying to go the wrong way on a one-way street, but like not really a theme. Spaceship. Life is money. I always like that as a theme or as an idea. Like, I think that Slay the Spire even did that some like you with some of the cards you could where like you could spend with money, but you can also spend with life. And so like there's this risky push your luckiness of like, is it worth it to spend part of your life to do this thing? So yeah. It's not what it looks like. This reminds me of It Wasn't Me by Shaggy.
Yes.
Figure it out. You figure it out. Like that's the game. It's another one of those like yeah, and deal with it. Both of these are just like the other one where it's like, yeah, here's the rules or here's the game, like figure it out. Roller level does not compute. Synchronization, collector, synthesis, incompatible. One button, multiple purposes is just again like the one button game. Recipes, we already had recipe. Maybe that's why recipe was spelled wrong because like recipe was already in there and like they had to spell it wrong on purpose to make it right.
That's funny. Maybe.
Reality, free fall, time travel. We already had like future stuff. That was cool. Infinite distractions. I like that too. Love and War, explore the wilderness, infinite scroller. Would not really something we can do. I mean, I guess technically you could like if it was like Pac-Man-esque or something. They came out of nowhere. Louder and louder. Winter loop.
I feel like that would be like a crazy debate game, the louder and louder.
Yes,
or like
exactly.
The filibusters, is that what it's called? Like when they argue in the Senate, like
yeah, and like nobody else can do anything because they're already standing there, like giving their speech or whatever. So like as long as you keep talking, like yeah, exactly. Growing, breakaway, self-driving, actions have consequences. I already had like all actions have consequences or something. Cartography, I'm all for that. We already had side effects.
I like that one.
Cost is cool too. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think that's interesting, but it's really vague too. Like,
I think it's going to be difficult for us to center in on something on that one.
Yeah. Ooh, memory leak. Hey, I have memory issues. I'm all for that.
Yeah, COVID has made it so that like we know something, but it's just not there to connect to. It's fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Like taking a minute to come up with Brutal Legend.
Yeah, exactly. Even though I'm a huge Jack Black fan. At least I remembered his name. Jeez.
Yeah.
And anachronistic, apparently, somehow. Wow, this is going much faster now. Some assembly required. That's fun.
Yeah, I like that.
Expand on an existing genre is a cool thing to do for a challenge, but it's not really a theme. That sounds like red light, green light.
It does.
Contamination, euphoria, it's a trap. Game of videos.
Like I want to like that. Like,
yeah, exactly. Because it's basically like the radio thing, except with videos. But like, overflow, drop. Nowhere is home. That's fun because like you're constantly moving. Like,
I like that.
Receiving and delivering. Hair loss. Thanks. I'm already suffering from that one. I don't need to make a game about it. From all directions, like New Year, New Me. Again, very fitting for Ludum Dare 52, but pass it onward. I almost clicked no. I'm gonna click no anyway. Machine operator. No objectives. It's just a toy. That's awesome. Yeah, I feel like there was another one that was butterfly effect-esque without having the B straight up butterfly effect. If butterfly effect came first, though, that would have been the one I voted up. Expand past the fourth wall makes me think that like there's a fifth wall.
And what would that be?
I don't know, because like the fourth wall is already like coming out to the people. So then maybe the fifth wall is when like you play a game, the game references you as the player, and then you as the player have to go to other people that aren't even playing the game and like get them about it.
Reminds me of the movie The 13th Floor.
Yeah.
Where they ended up finding out that well, it's a really old movie, so I shouldn't feel bad about spoilers, but that they find out they're in VR, and then they find out the VR that they were in was in VR, and that they were
Oh,
too.
there you
Like,
go.
so it was like very layered that everything was VR and wasn't the real world. So they had built a VR in the VR, and the VR had, and then it gave them the idea that, wait a minute, if they're in VR and they built VR, did we do that? And then it was like, yes. And so you never really knew if you were actually out.
That's awesome. And it makes sense. I mean, it's the whole like it's happened before and it'll happen again, but like with technology. Find the treasure. I will always find treasure. Thank you. Pick your poison sounds interesting too, because it's kind of like a pick the least bad. Not enough. Opposites attract. The most stupidest game ever. That'll probably happen like naturally. I don't need to aim for that. It would be funny though, like people making those. There was one jam like last year at some point or earlier this year. It was like the anti-game jam where like you are supposed to purposely make something unplayable, like that was playable, but like nobody would ever want to play it. Maybe next time. Holiday cats. Oh no, I'm gonna have to say yes to that. Fate degradation. World is a bad place.
Adventure Story might be fun.
That's true. Okay. As far as possible is push your lucky. That's not my job. That's awesome. Okay. It's a surprise. That's it's a secret to everyone from like The Legend of Zelda.
That would be fun to do a game where your like everyone's objective was a secret until the end, and then it's flipped over, and then you see who wins because of the objective.
That would be interesting. Yeah. Okay. Hey, I'm Grump. Hi, Grump.
Nice to meet you. Bye.
Disaster recovery. That sounds like it'd be a cool game, but I don't necessarily want to have a theme of it. Clown College Finals. Yeah, that's definitely getting in there. Perspective is interesting too. Reminds me of those one time we were talking about, I think it was your idea, I don't remember, where like you have to like see things kind of like from the Assassin's Creed, like those puzzles where like you have to line things up just right and then you can see it. It's kind of like that. Summoning derivative. There's a lot of these here that are just like, demake. Reinterpret board games. Well, I guess that's fitting enough. One more time. Unique abilities. Destroy and restore. Fringe science. Just reminds me of like the show Fringe, which was cool. Yeah. But like, Dephase. The end justify the means. No, that's fine though. Looking fly. That's awesome. Clear, draw, give, hold set. Something is missing. Reminds me of like a puzzle game where you have to figure out what the thing is that's missing, but like then you'd need a bunch of those puzzles. 2 minutes in total. No, we already had every 10 seconds. I don't want it 2 minutes total. The more you take, the bigger it gets. Don't die. Contraption. Ships and muffins? Okay, fair. Whatever. Well, that's all it takes at this point in the Ludum Dare theme slaughter. It's just like if it's unique enough, like, and it makes me laugh, then it gets through. I don't even necessarily want to make a game about ships and muffins, but like here we are. Getaway driver. Meerkats on you can only suggest two things. So either somebody's making multiple accounts for all this meerkat stuff, or like some people got together and were like, let's make this the year of the meerkats. Meerkats on illegal substances is this theme. Your dreams. You are too big. This reminds me of like Alice in Wonderland. Action and endless. This genre without that main mechanic. Huh.
That's interesting.
That is interesting. It kind of makes me want to make a pick up and deliver game, but you don't deliver. Just pick up. Micro groups. Only one try. This reminds me of like Lego movie with Batman. First try. Um, extreme opposites. Lose everything. It's not like one of those where like you start with a bunch of stuff and you've got to lose it all, but like um, I don't really necessarily want a whole bunch of that. As above, so below. That's interesting. Like another like mirror thing, but like more specific. I'll go with that. Subliminal messages just makes me think of like the rule book being really fun to write, but I don't know what the game would be. Hop, skip, and jump. That's awesome. Medieval weapons solving modern problems. I am writing that down just because I like that so much. Medieval weapons solving modern problems. Invert a genre. It's interesting too because I always bring it up, but one of my favorite things about Gift of Tulips is that it's considered a give that game, whereas the genre is normally called take that. So you're giving this instead; it's the opposite. So yeah, I'll invert a genre. So that's cool because apparently that sticks with me, even though it's just written like in one sentence on a website once. So racing no stop. More than expected mixtures. Modify somewhere in space. No move. That's like the fourth version of like you can't move I've seen, at least. Lemons just reminds me of the speech from Portal. The whole like when life gives you lemons, like throw it back in life's face.
Oh yes.
And like I'm gonna invent a like combustible lemon that burns life's house down or whatever. Like, it's like
That J.K. Simmons one.
yes, exactly. J.K. Simmons. That's like the greatest thing ever. Like it makes me want to make a lemons thing that can compete with that, but it's not going to happen in 2 days. So Skyfalls. Optimization required. That sounds interesting. Like you have like an engine, but it's just like, and like it could be amazing, but it's just like all in the wrong order, so you have to fix it. But like, can't do the same thing twice in a row.
I feel like that's been a thing.
Yeah, I already actually voted one of them up too.
Yeah.
So party time. Oh, fairy tale, fine. Funny and endless. That would be funny. Like literally, the game is just to like, like the whole thing where like if somebody makes somebody laugh, like they keep wanting to make them laugh.
Yeah.
So like you want to like you have to keep trying to make somebody laugh until they don't. I don't think that's fun as a theme, but like I think it'd be really funny though. How is it possible? I like wait what more.
I agree.
I don't remember what mimetic even means. I think that's because I'm thinking of mnemonic, like mnemonic device.
Google to the rescue.
Indeed. Oh, okay. That's actually really interesting. Relating to or constituting an element or of a culture or system of behavior that is passed from one individual to another by imitation or other non-genetic means. It reminds me of they had that prison like experiment where no, it wasn't a prison experiment. It was I think it was like monkeys. They were put in a cage, and every time one of them tried to escape, like they would all get punished. And then like slowly they would like take one of those monkeys out and put another one in. Uh, but they stopped doing the punishment. So like literally they could all just leave if they wanted to. But every time one of them tried to leave, the other ones would stop it because it happened before. It'll still keep happening, of course. But these new monkeys didn't know that. They never even saw it until all of the monkeys were replaced with new ones, and they would still stop the other ones from escaping, even though they'd only heard about it. They never actually experienced it themselves.
That's wild.
Yeah, so I think that sounds really cool. I would love to do something like that. What goes around comes around. That sounds interesting too. Like, like maybe like 2 or 3 turns later, somehow whatever you did like comes back at you. That'd be really hard to track in a game though, and like not really fun to track, but whatever. Program voice. Interest point. Can't stop. There's the actual game there now. Play with their emotions. That's funny. Take it and leave it. Don't take it or leave it. You get both. That sounds funny. Counter. Invasion. Only going backwards would be cool again in video games, but not really in tabletop. Unnatural car racing. That just makes you think of like car racing with anything that's not a car. So like it'd be like shopping carts versus skateboards versus like I don't know what else exactly, but something else. That would all be funny. Mechanized machines, strange machines, right in a row. That's cool. Peer-to-peer resolutions. We're doing those. Doesn't this already happen? Condiments Battle Royale. I literally just said earlier that I'm not doing a Battle Royale, but Condiments Battle Royale actually sounds funny. So, okay. That's actually the name of a game already. I don't remember. I don't know what it actually means. To reside temporarily is what that means. Sojourner. And that's interesting. Yeah, why not? That's like 12-sided die, I do believe. Oh, if you click on it, it actually brings up the thing in another tab. But yeah, 12 sides. That'd be a 12-sided die. So, thanks. Zombie shooter. Not what you think it is. Hey, we're actually going to make this. There's only 160 left, so screw it. We're going to power through these. Underwater escort mission. That's literally everything everybody hates in a game combined into one. Like, no history, cutting corners. That's what I'm doing right now at these themes. But yeah, that actually sounds kind of interesting. Sure. In between worlds. We already had one of those. We just had one less E in it. Evoke an emotion. Non-Euclidean. Dang it. What does that mean exactly? I remember it is something. Any type of geometry that's not Euclidean, that does not exist in a flat world. So it has to be 3D, basically. It can't exist in 2D. But, like, yeah, no thanks. Don't look away sounds like a staring contest. It just keeps tumbling down with music notes. Yeah, that's fun. Hide and something. I think that's a cool one, too. It's another one with the blank, but, like, without a blank, it's just towards something. Untie the knot. Just reminds me of we watched A Good Mythical Morning like not too long ago where they were doing the can't remember the name of the show now, but it's like the British like game show. But yeah, one of them was that they had to like tie themselves to a chair, and whoever it took the longest for a chase to get untied would win. Dig them up. Always everything to do with digging or finding treasure, I will vote up. Palindrome.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? You have to do it twice.
Yes, we used to do that. Instead of like LOL, we'd say palindrome since it was one.
Yes, exactly. Fictional elements. Winds of Change. Sounds fancy, but like, eh. Every button pressed changes colors. That's literally impossible for a tabletop game. So, unless you were to like to flip all the cards over or something every time you did something. Yeah.
Yeah. That sounds fun.
Yeah, no kidding. Glitch. Don't touch it. It sounds like another one of those like don't press the button kind of things. Like,
it does.
No way out. We already have only way out is through, which I really liked. Candlelight, we already have a few of those. Making money, that's what we would do in a lot of games anyway. Every decision matters. We already had like every choice has consequences, which I like more. Like a caveman is kind of funny. Yeah, why not? Squirrels all the way down. Like that's all it is. It's just a bunch of squirrels. So yeah, okay. Resource management. Support others is nice, but like, and I'm all for it, but I also like starting from the end, but not enough to make it a thing. Spam. Math. There we go. We'll make a math game because the theme is literally math.
No.
We had something like Hold It Together, but we like downloaded it anyway. Life is your currency. I like when life can be your currency, but not when it's your only currency. A little goes a long way. Failure is success. Like that's kind of like the one where you have to lose or whatever. So um, it's colder at night than outdoors.
That sounds like it should be interesting, but it isn't.
Yeah, I'm really confused by that. Like it's just weird. Simulate the unsimulatable, which I get that in the video game because you're coding something that you can't simulate, but no thanks. Ready, set, adrift. Like it sounds like so something terrible happened right from the get-go. Worlds within worlds is exactly the 13th floor, like you were talking about. Which actually, you know what? Worlds within worlds sounds interesting. Let's do it. Absurd, marine, day by day, reflections. We built the city. Yeah, okay.
Built on rock and roll.
Yes, exactly. Captcha. A twisted version of a classic fairy tale. Yep. That works. Floating points are close. No, I'm thinking of pointers. Never mind. Or why I hate coding and why I never learned C++. Floating points are just like the decimals after something. Changing shapes, edge, artificial intelligence, drift, do what you must. Giant snails. Call Me By My Name sounds like a Rumpelstiltskin kind of thing where like you got to figure out the name.
Or the girl from Neverending Story.
Oh yeah, that's true too. I like Let's Create Together because it sounds like a cooperative creating something. I really like artifact games where you have like you create something in the process of playing the game so that you have something like at the end of it. Kind of like I actually happen to have this here. Cartographers is a cool artifact game in that like you actually come up with a map and you have this map when you're done with it. Wow, I cannot find the camera for anything. But yeah, so you have a map when you're done. And so I really like those where you just end up with something physical and that's created when you're done. So Let's Create Together is awesome. Don't Stop Moving is really cool in video games. I'm not going to do it for tabletop game though. Forever Improving. That sounds interesting because like maybe you lose if you can't improve on something. Like it's a deck builder, but you literally have to improve something every single time.
That's interesting.
Yeah. You Are the One. Discontinuity. That's not where I left it. That's fun. It's not like a Rondell game where you come back and it's like it's not there anymore.
Yes.
Let's see. Dystopian is cool. Soulfire is interesting sounding, but like not really a theme. Maps backward. Okay. I'm off for that. Keep it brief. One last chance. That could never happen. Oh, pardon me. Payphone. Remember those payphones? Like, I'm amazed anybody. Well, I guess people that do Ludum Dare are probably like we're in around our age that do know payphones anyway. That's true. There's a lot of younger people too. It was a mistake. (16 by 16 sprites isn't really a theme either. It's just a limitation. So new mythology. I like that. That's cool. Cat is a liquid.
Ew.
Yes. Elemental balance. Ticking time bomb. Not the hero. I actually literally have a game called that's in the works called Who's the Hero Not Me, where like you don't want to be the one that's
Like,
called.
not it.
Yeah, exactly. Like you don't want to be the one that have to go take on the evil because like that doesn't sound possible. So
Kinda
like,
like
somebody
that.
else is that person.
That old song, Billy, Don't Be a Hero. Have you ever heard that song?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. That is awesome.
Don't be a fool with your life.
Yeah, okay, I do know what you're talking about. Okay, yep.
I'm not gonna sing it, but
Oh no, I understand. Like we don't want to get. I think you can get like whatever struck anyway. Like, but like, and I definitely wouldn't sing even if I wouldn't. But your friends are your enemies. But then like, why are they your friends or why are they your enemies? Like, I guess because like you have to ally yourself with your enemy. I don't know. Duplicate to survive. Boxes outside boxes, so not inside. Like, but then the boxes are still inside boxes because you're putting boxes outside, which then makes the other box inside. So,
that's a little brain breaky.
yeah.
We have 8 remaining.
Woo. Not too much, not too little was a fun one, by the way, too. It's another one with spam all over the place.
Spam sausage.
Yes. Careful positioning, winter blues, construction. Oh, we did it.
Woo!
We actually got through it all. So we flagged 3, we kept 192, and we got rid of 791,
Wow.
which is 986. Means we kept just under 20% overall, thanks to a calculator. But yeah, that was definitely a stream for sure. We're going to go ahead and take off because our dinner is ready, and we got through the whole thing. I really legitimately thought that we would get through like 20% of that tops. So that was awesome. And we actually have some cool notes. I have 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different notes for things we want to do now.
That's cool.
In the future. So yeah, that was definitely worth the time. And we definitely appreciate everybody here coming by, stopping by, watching any bit of this, let alone this part of it all the way at the end after 3.5 hours. So
yes, thank you for swinging by.
And Matonko, if you're still here, it was awesome meeting you. I'm looking forward to seeing what you do with your Ludum Dare entry. I hope that yours goes really well, and hopefully something that we both happen to agree on will be the theme, and then like we can both enjoy that.
Yeah, and if you're curious about what we end up making, you can find Beth at Beth Makes Games on Twitter, and me at Unbirthday Angel.
Yep, exactly. And then we'll be on Ludum Dare too, of course. This is the profile. I'm Cataclysmic Knight on Ludum Dare. Here is a link to that.
Thanks, that one I didn't know.
I was already logged in because of Ludum Dare, so let's throw that on the screen for a second. But because it's a little like long anyway, it's not like I'm going to say all that. But so yeah. If you are participating in Ludum Dare and you're seeing this or anything, I would love to check out what you make. We can share progress and stuff. I'll be on Twitter probably posting about it, or forgetting to post about it on Twitter until the last day, and then I'll post it. But feel free to reach out or anything. And have a great night. Thanks.
Good night.